Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Derek Yale. Derek Yale. Derek Yale. Derek Yale. Derek Yale.
No fronting, can't talk cause I'm up to something now. I'm up to something. Let it be no fronting.
We feature a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasions, and this panel comes with different styles in discussing national issues.
I'm up to something now. I'm up to something.
If you are living a glass hot, don't throw stone.
No fronting, can't talk cause I'm up to something now. I'm up to something.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you're joining us from, welcome to the Liberia Radio and Television Network. And as you know, the Liberia Radio and Television Network, or LRTN for short, is a local media institution right here in Northeast Philadelphia. And we also operate in Liberia as we speak. Tonight, I'm playing host. My name is Derek Yale, and I'm joined by my co-host, David Tarquet. David, welcome to another episode. How you doing, brother?
Thank you, Derek, and good evening to everyone.
Thank you very much, David. And guys, before I go any further, let me encourage all of you to please follow this network on Facebook and also on YouTube. That is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. You can see that in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Make sure you follow the network, and also please share this program. And this is the Hard Zone Season 4, Episode 5. And we, LRTN, is proud to bring you another episode of this show. Here, as you know, the Hard Zone, there's no gimmick, no fluff, or just real talk. It's an opinion-based talk show that features a team of panelists from diverse political persuasion, political institution, political ideology. And just by way of disclaimer, all of the opinions and position that will be proffered on this show is the opinions and position of the panelists that will be offering them, and not the official position of the network. I'm playing host tonight, like I said, and my name is Derek Yale, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. David Tarquet. Before I bring you, and just to give you a heads up of what to expect on this show tonight, we will introduce our team of panelists tonight very shortly, and we have a special guest. We will bring you the current event from the diaspora, and then the current event from Liberia, and we have a very interesting conversation here tonight as we are a couple of days away from the election that is next week, Tuesday. So our conversation tonight will be based on electoral violence. We will talk more about that, and then we will have all around politics, pre-elections discussions. So you can look forward to that. Before we go any further, let me introduce my team of panelists, and then I will bring you the current event from the diaspora, and then join David Tarquet to bring you the current event from Liberia. On the panel tonight, we have Mr. Jao Winkin Weah. Mr. Weah, welcome to episode 5, season 4 of the Hard Zone.
Thank you, Derek. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you very much. And Mistress Goan, Grace Goan, welcome to another episode of the Hard Zone.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Reverend Addy. Welcome to another episode of the Hard Zone.
Greetings to all of you, great panelists and fellow Liberians. Such a joy to be with all of you once more. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hagar. Welcome.
Thank you very much to all my great friends. We are grateful to be here tonight.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hagar. Mr. Boulder, it's good to see you again. Welcome to episode 5, season 4 of the Hard Zone.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Welcome to every one of you. I hope to continue the good conversation tonight as we climb on the electoral process.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Blue J. Choppy Charlie, welcome.
And we said welcome to everybody for the George Weah first round victory, no second round in next Tuesday elections.
Thank you very much. And last but not the least, Joel Dennis, Mr. Joel Dennis. And this is your first episode here tonight. And I would like to take this time to welcome you to the LRTN family and also to the Hard Zone team as well. So welcome to episode 5, season 4 of the Hard Zone.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure. Nice meeting all you fellow panelists. Hopefully tonight we'll have a good discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joel Dennis, and thanks to all of you panelists for your contribution each and every episode of the show. Now, to those of you watching us, make sure you follow the network. Please share the program on your individual social media pages, and I'll bring you the current event coming out of the diaspora, and then I will introduce our special guest for the night. And after that, we will bring our panelists back on the screen. So for our current event coming out of the diaspora, I would like to begin with a release from the Global Peace Index. This report was released in August. But given that we're almost around elections in Liberia, just a few days, and elections in Africa is prone to violence. So we thought it wise to bring this report. That is the most peaceful countries in Africa, 15 most peaceful countries in Africa. Mauritius sits in number 1 position. And you can guess where do you think Liberia sits? Number 10 in the most peaceful countries in Africa. Mauritius number 1, Botswana, Sierra Leone, Ghana in 4th, Liberia 5, tie in points with Madagascar and Namibia. So as we're a few days to the elections, on behalf of this network and myself, I would like to caution each and every person participating in these elections to remain peaceful, to not engage in any violent activity. And as you know, we condemned any form of violence, and we would like to encourage our people to make sure that the election process is as peaceful as it can be, and also encourage leaders to not incite violence during these elections, period. Moving on to the next development we have for the current events here in the diaspora, I would like to introduce our special guests if we have them ready. Our special guest for the National Maryland County Associations of Liberia is his mistress, Madame Beatrice Duero. Am I saying it right? Can you help me see your name? First of all, welcome to LRT and to the Azon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate being here.
Thank you very much. Now, well, we would like to congratulate you. You're the newly elected president of that organization. So we'll have you here very shortly to talk to us about the National Maryland County Association. So I'd like to give you the opportunity to first introduce yourself and talk briefly about your organization.
Hello, everyone. Greetings to you in Liberia and here in the diaspora. My name is Beatrice. I hail from Maryland County, but I was born and raised in Monrovia. I did visit the county and lived there for a little while and fell in love with the scenery there. So I've passed that message on to my kids. I have a mother of 5 young men and a community activist for many years in the diaspora. I'm a nurse by profession, but I've been very active in community work since 2006 in the diaspora. My parents hail from the Caldwell district in Maryland County, and I served that organization for 9.5 years as their national president until 2 years ago when I gave it up to take care of my ailing mother, and then felt the need to serve in National Maryland County, which is an organization that comprises members of all 4 districts of Maryland County that reside in the diaspora.
Thank you very much, Madame Rue. Am I saying it right? For some reason,
Rue,
I feel like
Rue,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you're the newly elected president. Now, first of all, is that organization under ULA?
No, it is not under ULA. It's an independent organization of Marylanders in the Americas.
Okay, so how was the? Can you talk to her briefly about the elections process though? And who did you run against? And what did you do to edge them out during the process? You're muted.
Sorry. Did you get that? I think
No,
my
no,
mic,
you were
my
muted
mic
while
went
you were
off.
talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
So no, we are not under EULA umbrella. We are an independent organization that comprises of citizens of the 4 districts of Maryland County, Liberia, that reside here in the diaspora.
Okay, so how first of all, I asked how was the elections process in this organization? What purpose does it serve to the Liberian here and also to the Liberian in Liberia?
And so our purpose, if you look on our website at namcal.org, we have several purposes: to advocate for the people in Maryland County, to bring basic relief to the people of Maryland County, to establish new chapters in the diaspora of where Marylanders reside. As you know, we have 50 states. We only currently have 13 chapters. So our goal and aim is to connect with other Marylanders in all 50 states and be able to establish chapters there so that we can all join hands to help bring basic relief to the people of Maryland County, Liberia.
Thank you. You say you have 13 chapters. Are those in Maryland County or in other states?
13 chapters in the United States.
In the United States, what states? What do you care to name the states that you're currently in? Not all of them, just some of the major. Not just the organization, not you specifically.
I reside in Minnesota.
You reside? No, I'm talking about the chapters. What state are you currently in?
So like I said, we have 13 chapters, one in Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Chicago, not Chicago yet, Atlanta, Georgia. I shouldn't say Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is the capital. The state of Georgia, the state of Pennsylvania, the state of Rhode Island, the state of Massachusetts, just to name a few that I can think of off the top of my head.
Thank you. Now, if not to hold you any longer, what is your message to? I know you're the newly elected president. What is your message, and what plan do you have for the NIMCA going forward?
My message to Marylanders in the diaspora is to come and join us. I reached out to my sis Grace, who says she hasn't heard about us. NAMCA has been in existence over 20 years. This Gone convention was our 21st convention, and like we said we state in our purpose is to create new chapters. So we are reaching out to Marylanders in the diaspora to come and join us to help bring basic relief to the people of Maryland County. And my goal is not to only concentrate on the people of Maryland County. I hope to be able to find means of the Minnesotans, the Marylanders in the diaspora benefit from being part of this organization, and also to get our youth involved in these organizations, because like I said, it's been 20 years and most of the leaders in this organization have been here since the founding. And as I'm looking at this panel of you guys here, I see a lot of youth, younger people, and I'm very proud of seeing this, because our country and our diaspora organizations needs our youth to be educated in these undertakings and these formations and organizations and their purposes, and help to give them purpose in their lives and some kind of a focus that they can aspire to, and help them to become better citizens in the community, and give them an idea of where they come from in Liberia and want to go back there to help make a difference there too.
Thank you very much. David, do you have any question for Mrs. Rue? Can you hear me, David? Well, Mr. Root, we are. David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Do you have any questions for Mrs. Root?
Yeah, I'm asking her. Madam, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so your emphasis is on bringing relief to the people of Maryland County. Could you be specific? What sort of relief you're talking about? What do Marylanders need that your organization want to take to them in Maryland, here in Liberia?
We have been working on sanitation, clean drinking water, healthcare, and education. We currently have a scholarship program for the students of Tubman University with a basic GPA of 3.0. And if they can go to our website, we have an application there that will pay for their tuition if they graduate from high school with at least a 3.0 GPA, and they can maintain that GPA in college. Their tuitions will be paid for by NAMCAL if they applied and are approved. That application process is on our website at namcal.org. And we are continuing the process of, bringing safe, clean drinking water to the people of Maryland County. And we have built several hand pumps in several of the districts, and we're going to continue that and also work on bringing basic healthcare relief to the organization in the near future.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Ro. And we are pressed against time right now. So again, we'd like to say congratulations on your elections as the president of NIMCAR, and we wish you well in your sojourn. If you have any parting message, I'll give you the opportunity to do so, and then I'll bid you a good night.
Like I said to my people at the convention, Liberia is a mere 144,000 square miles. From Cape Mount to Cape Palmas, we are all related. No matter our political background and aspirations, I would like for all of us to remember that we are one people. And whatever we do for Cape Palmas, we are doing it for Liberia. Whatever our brothers and sisters in the different counties do for their different counties, we are doing it for Liberia. I would like for us all to remember that we are Liberians and we are loving people, and should keep that in the forefront of our minds, to care and cherish one another.
Thank you very much, Madam Ro. Congratulations again, and thank you for joining us here on the Liberia Radio and Television Network, and also here on the Horizon. Again, thank you very much.
So much. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a fruitful discussion tonight.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See the panelists, their faces, to know that they're ready to nurse. Anyways, those of you watching us on Facebook, please do us a favor, share this program on your Facebook page. The network to follow is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. I'm here with my team of panelists. My name is Derek Galley. I'm playing host tonight. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. David Tarkwa. Mr. David, I would like to join you now for the current events from Liberia, and also you can bring us our discussion for the panelists.
Okay, Derek, and good evening, everyone, once again. International observers comprising the European Union, ECOWAS, and the Electoral Institute for Sustainable Democracy of Africa say they are disappointed in investigators of the Liberia National Police. In a joint statement on Wednesday, the observers said it is unfair for the police investigators to have only transferred partisans of the main opposition Unity Party when both the CDC and the UP were engaged in the bloody clashes in Foya, Lofa County. 2 persons were reported killed in the clashes that occurred last weekend. The police were said to have rounded up and transferred only UP partisans, leaving out the seditions who were also involved in the September 29 violence in the Lofa County's Foya district. The International Observer said it is disappointing to give preference or preferential treatment to one party and treat the other party differently without regard to the laws of the Republic of Liberia. President George Weah has by proclamation declared Tuesday, October 10, General and Presidential Elections Day, and is to be observed throughout Liberia as a national holiday. A foreign ministry press statement has called on all Liberians and foreign residents to respect the holiday in consonance with the president's proclamation. The statement also ordered all government offices, business houses, and marketplaces across the country to remain closed from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Foreign Ministry statement further said the Liberian government is desirous of ensuring the unhindered movement of all eligible voters. And finally, Liberia National Union standard bearer and presidential candidate Dr. Clarence Moniba says Liberia can be changed if the current leaders of the country are changed. Addressing hundreds of his supporters in Monrovia on Thursday, Dr. Moniba assured Liberians of a better and prosperous Liberia under his administration if elected the next president of Liberia, flanked by his running mate, Madam Grace Bond, and other party officials. Moniba, for the four, said past leaders have done unfairly to the Liberian people, while the current leaders have brought more untold suffering to the citizenry. Derek, those are the current developments for Liberia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tugby, for that splendid reporting coming out of Liberia. Now, I'd like to bring this to the panelists. David, before I come to you for our current event discussion, let me encourage all of you watching us to please follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. That is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. And please do us a favor by sharing this program on your Facebook page as well. So, David, we will have our panelists discuss the issue in Lofa County, right? So let me give it to you so you can start off with our conversation for the current event. And guys, tonight we have a lot of panelists, so we will watch the time, or minute and 30 seconds. I'm not gonna say who, but someone called me earlier today to make sure that we stick to that commitment. 1 minute 30 seconds. That's why we're alert, each and every one of you, when we come to you. David, can you bring us our discussion for the current event?
Okay. So Derek, thank you. Let me start with Jawin Ken. Jawin Ken, you've listened to the story regarding.
I don't want to, if I may, please. I'm sorry if I'm going to interrupt, but I want to seek a clarification from David on the current event news that I reported.
Go ahead.
David, I'm interested in the source of that news you quoted in the international community. Do you have a source? What's the source of that news report?
The source of the news is the local dialect. Read the newspaper of Wilson Tappet, one of the officials in your CDC government. He owns the newspaper. They reported.
You do have a copy.
It's on the back of front page, below J. This is not fabricated. In fact, this is one of the discussions across Monrovia now. The international observers in Monrovia now have issued a joint statement raising concerns about how the police investigators are handling.
No, because that's not true. Because I have a copy of the statement. Nowhere in that statement it says about any bias. So that's why I'm asking. I have a copy. And I can post the copy in the forum for us to see it.
Roger,
yeah.
At the end of this show, we will have all of the necessary credits in our credit for this program. So if you have
I agree, but it's good for all the clarifiers and stuff before we discuss it, because we don't want to discuss bias information.
I gave you the opportunity to clarify. I think he answered your question. If you need more information, it will be in the credit. And if you have issue with some of the reporting here, you can also challenge it with the network. But Mr. David Tarkwick, go ahead with our current event discussion.
Yeah, so Jawin Kenwea, what is your take on this development regarding the concerns that have been raised by the international observers? It's all about they are investigating. We understand all the suspects that were arrested in Foya in connection to the recent clashes between the CDC and the Unity Party. The police investigators want to transfer or have transferred the suspects from the Unity Party and have left those from the CDC, giving preferential treatment to the seditions and differently treating the Unity Partisans. This is a concern that the observers are raising. What's your take, Jawinken? What does it mean for our justice system? I'm not hearing Jawinken.
You're muted, Mr. Weir.
You're muted.
Mr. Weir,
Jawinken, you are muted.
Go ahead.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes,
Yes,
I'm hearing you, Jawinken.
Right,
But
actually,
did
it
you
was
hear my
not me in the
question?
control.
Did you hear my
Yeah,
question,
so
Jawinken?
yes, I did hear the question. So I don't know the details of what happened in Liberia, especially that has to do with the Loval involving sedition and the supporter of the former vice president. But here is what I can say. At this time, at this moment, no matter which party you belong to, we are all Liberians. Liberia is the only identity we all have. So we do not need any violent clashes. So for the police force or any security apparatus personnel in Liberia, your position is not to take sides. You are a peacekeeper. You are to make sure that everything goes on well. You are not a police officer to serve anybody, no CDC, no UPP, no Gonclo, no Cummings. No matter who is in power, it is not your duty to satisfy the person who is in power. But remember that you are serving the Liberian people. So what I can say is in the case, until we get the details, but I would like to say to all Liberians, Tuesday is the next election. There is competition. In every competition, there should be a winner. So we should all avoid attacks. We should all avoid physical attacks, specifically destruction of things. Because as I said, Liberia is the only thing that binds all of us together. The only reason why we are making noise is we all have Liberia as a country. This one Liberia is our home. It's a country for us. It's our house.
Thank you, Mr. Weir. We have to stick to the 1 minute 30-second rule tonight. And David, continue on there, please. Before you do, David, let me. I'm sorry. Can you hear me, David?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, Derek. I'm hearing you.
All right. Before we go any further, let me recognize our new panelist here, Sheriff. Welcome to episode 5, season 4 of the Hard Zone. Welcome to the LRTN family as well.
Thank you, David. Derek, thank you very much.
Thank you. Now let me go back to you, David. Go ahead.
So, Grace Gua, Mrs. or Miss Grace Gua? Sorry.
Anyone.
Anyone. Okay, Miss Gua. What's your take? What's your own?
We are very disappointed hearing the news that came out of Liberia with all this attack on Liberians as a whole, on each other. And it is so sad to watch that the ruling party is a part of this, the government, and also one of the major parties in Liberia, UP, also were a part of this. Dr. Moneyba went to FOIA, Liberian National Union. Went to FOIA, hundreds of people came out. Besides him going to FOIA, he went to a lot of villages in Lofa, and there was not one confusion there. And that's the reason why we are telling Liberians to open your eyes. You don't want us to continue to identify with these people, these terrorists, because they acted like terrorists. People die. And my condolences are to the families that lost their family members in this situation. This is wrong for Liberia. We are not going to condone this any longer. This is not fair to our country. We need a new leadership. We need a new direction. I will point you to Dr. Clarence Player Monima, who should be the next president of Liberia, because we are not going to continue war in our country and fighting among the people and killing our people, innocent children, any longer. Liberia is a country we love one another, and we should stick to that. And that's the reason why we should put the right leader in position now. This is time, Liberians. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Vote number 13. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to delay the United Party and CDC people. Let me go to Joel. Joel, I know it's your first time coming on the show. You follow the current events. The international community, international observers in Liberia are unhappy with the Liberia National Police, how they are handling the recent situation that they are investigating in Foya District, Lofa County. What do you think about this development?
Well, I mean, if the current administration is administering selective justice, then I think absolutely is wrong. But you know, I don't have all the information to make an informed decision. But if that's happening, that's wrong. But I think too, we have to understand that for a long time, the ruling party in Liberia and before this one has always seemed to have, or think they had, a monopoly on violence, and even up to the politics that's going on today. So what's happening right now with CDC and the UP, there is a lot of passion going on between those two parties, and I think the fear that's being instilled in all of Liberians, I think it needs to calm down, because if not, it will lead to some sort of upheaval in Liberia, and CDC and the UP and everybody else will suffer tremendously from any kind of upheaval. And at the end of the day, I think I'm not a supporter of CDC. I stand strongly with the opposition. And I don't want any violence in Liberia under any circumstances. But if they're administering selective justice, is wrong, and if they lose this election, they will all be brought to justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. And let me come to Blow J Chopping Charlie. And what I would like to urge to get a copy of the newspaper that is published or owned by Minister. It's not Minister. It's now a minister again, but he's the head of the Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia, Mr. Wilson Tappe is the owner of the newspaper. It has published the International Observer's statement in his newspaper, the newspaper, at the back of the front page. Maybe Blowjay can get a copy tomorrow, and maybe that's the time you will understand what I'm talking about. So Blowjay, that's what the international observers are saying. What do you say? What is your take?
The international observer have said no such thing. You are quoting a newspaper and associating your Wilson Tappe does not give your report credibility. I just posted a statement, the joint statement of the international community, in the LRTN chat room. Nowhere in our statement did it say such a thing as you have said. Nowhere. And this is the kind of dangerous propaganda that creates chaos in our society. It is bad journalism. The report is up. The statement from the international community is up. There is no, in fact, they urge all political actors to refrain from violence, and they call for a swift investigation. They condemn the violence in Lofa County. They did not blame anybody. They did not challenge the police and say the police were biased. It's dangerous propaganda. We should stop these things. Where it's not because life has been lost, this kind of narrative is a joke. It's a real joke to characterize the CDC in such a fashion. 2 lives were lost by the violent and wicked action of Unity Partisan. The Unity Partisan was caught with a bullet in his hand. The picture is available. You saw a video of Unity Partisan breaking down infrastructure, destroying the facility that was built by this government.
And yet people want to pretend. Let's stick to the EU statement.
I'm sticking to the issue. You cannot guard my thought process here. You are waiting propaganda. You are waiting propaganda when you should be reporting news. You are waiting propaganda falsehood. The statement is available. I just posted it. Anybody can read the statement. The statement did not say such a thing.
The newspaper It's one of the reliable.
Read the statement. Stop quoting the New Star Associated newspaper. The statement is there. Why are you not quoting the statement itself? The statement was published.
Okay, thank you.
Why are you quoting the newspaper?
Thank you. Let's move on.
But Bloje, doesn't the independent papers get business there too?
Well, there's associated.
It's propaganda. I'm not going to listen. It's propaganda. Let's deal with facts.
Okay. For your point.
Mr. Weah, let's bring in.
The poster was from ECOWAS, the United Nations. Is that?
But a joint statement there. A joint statement. That's a joint statement.
Thank you,
But a joint statement.
That doesn't stop the press from doing their work, Bloje. That's what I'm saying.
No, but don't get false news. Don't get false news.
Bloje, guys, we're not here to debate the source of our story, of the reporting here. We're here to discuss it. If you have an issue with smart news or news, if you have an issue with smart news or news, you can take it up with them. But let's
I don't have an issue with smart news. I have an issue with this reporter giving us false information here, and I think I should checkmate it. The joint statement is available. It did not say that.
Bloje, I protected you for a minute and 30 seconds. If you have any rebuttal, I will come back to you. But let's move on to the next panelist, Reverend Addy. Give us a take on this.
So this is precisely the MO of the Coalition for Distortion and Corruption, CDC. The fact remains that 105, Mr. Prince Moluba, and 102, Melvin Sakor, did sign for the seditions to be released. And there were more Unity Party members arrested and taken to Banga. So for you to argue when the travesty of justice is being made manifest right before our very eyes, that this is not true baffles me, Bloje. And this is not the new Liberia we must all to build. Our generation must stand for justice and justice for all. What we clearly see is a violation of Article 11, Sections 1, 2, and 3 of our Constitution, that everyone is created equal under the law and has the inalienable rights to face justice. This is an open secret. So why are you here more concerned about the justification of the propaganda? What is the propaganda? Is it not true that Unity Party partisans were arrested and taken to Banga? Is it not true that Melvin Sakor and Prince Moluba signed for the seditions that are not accounted for today? All of those are facts. They're not propaganda. It is the truth. And oftentimes when you argue, let's go to the court, let's go to the justice system, the reason why you guys aren't taking the justice system so serious is because it is infested with the corruption of incompetence and injustice. And therefore you can boldly stand to argue. And you are beautifully waiting on the Supreme Court to come down with a decision. And that is why your party is not even concerned about the democratic inalienable rights for the 20 political parties to receive the FFR. So let's be honest with the people.
Thank you, Reverend Addy. Let's move on to the.
I tell you how about change the response because my name was mentioned.
I will give you 30 seconds. Let me take all of the panelists' position on this first. Bloje, I will come back to you and to anybody else that have rebuttal. Reverend Addy, have we taken you already?
Mr. Good, Martin Goda.
Not Reverend Addy, but Mr. Boda.
No, I haven't spoken yet. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
You know what? I don't want to get two Unity Party people last. Let me take Sheriff Abu first. Mr. Abu.
I'm already here, so I don't know whether you're going to take me together.
Oh, God.
Go ahead, Abu. Give us a take on this.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Good. It's sad for our country, especially going to election in a few days, to be hearing rhetoric from former, opposition parties and the current regime. We all know exactly what they're heading to. They want to destroy the nation. They have nothing to talk about. They have nothing to offer the Liberian people. The trend of the CDC, of course, we've known them for a very long time now. They're very violent. And again, I call the spare a spare. UP also cannot be alternative as well. So they all lack the ideas to carry this country forward. So seeing the UP, the former VP, yes, coming out with rhetoric that the country will come to an end. All of those things are recipe for what are happening today. Nobody should be killed for any politician, no matter who they are. I called on all Lofians. I'm a Lofian. I was born in the former VP district. I was born in Foya. I was born and raised in Lofa. So I wouldn't sit here and be happy to see my brothers and sisters fighting among themselves and killing themselves for a politician that will not know that. But listen, my 1 minute, not finished.
Thank you. 1 minute 30 seconds over.
1 minute 30 seconds, right? You finish it, brother. Let me real quick.
1 minute. Let me get you 10 seconds to close.
Yeah, right. So in closing, let's be mindful going to this election. This is the first time since post-war that Liberia will be heading of, organizing an election that will not have any foreign security. We depend on our security. We want every one of them to be fair and just to Liberia.
Thank you, Mr. Abu. Now let me take you, Bishop Hager, and then we'll take Mr. Boda next.
Well, thank you very much. Listen, when it comes to the police in Liberia, the only time the police actually work in Liberia when we had the unmale people there checkmating them. When you leave, when it is Liberian police, they are the queen of corruption. The Liberian police don't know their statutory responsibility. They believe the justice ministry in Liberia is supposed to represent the people and not an administration. It is there to implement the establishment of the justice ministry. The police should take instruction from the justice minister, not from some politician. But in Liberia, the police are so incompetent. Imagine arms and ammunition were seized at the free port of Monrovia. Where are the arms and ammunition today? The everyday people who committed crime are leaving the country with no record. The police in Liberia are disgraced, and they have become the ATU like Taylortown. The police in Liberia have become just the militia force for George, incompetent, corrupt George Weah, and we're not accepting that other police officers, those leaders, we're going to remove all of them after. I'm just waiting for the 10th. The order are going to be dismissed because they are incompetent, don't know what police force is. They go and take. It's a disgrace for the international community to come and tell the police that you can't work with this. You can't work with this. They are taking some and they are adding.
Thank you.
What they are doing is a recipe for disaster. They got to be careful.
Thank you very much.
We are security force.
Thank you very much,
Bishop. By the way,
before we come to you, Mr. Boda, let me get Loje rebuttal. Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds, Loje. If you got any rebuttal, then I will come to you, Mr. Boda.
Yeah, look, if 100 United Partisans committed crime, should they not be arrested? If you arrest him more, the video evidence are all available. United Party was seen engaging in violence. A United Party's chairman in Foya had a gun in his hand. This is all recorded. Should these people not be arrested? Is that bias when these people are arrested? Look, we gotta stop joking. People who are unable to generate popular appeal will understand a strategy. They will always engage in violence, as Bwaka has stated that Liberia will come to an end if it's not. But he will come to an end. His political career will end on Tuesday when George Weah wins on the first ballot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Let me get a take on this report. This news article coming out from the International Observer statement, Mr. Boda.
No, it's just sad and despicable to hear that we have reached to this level in our political discourse. Sad to note that our political leader will be arguing or supporting people violent behavior. It's sad. Our country is to its need. And what I will urge all of us here tonight in Liberia as a whole is to try to settle down. We don't have a police force. We have a militia that is loyal to anybody that can give them anything. That's why you saw in Foya. They are not investigators. So they're not going to investigate anything. And I'm sorry to say here, my brother OJ, we're not talking about anything, we're talking about Liberian lives. If there were two persons in the conflict, they both should be arrested and investigated thoroughly and let justice serve the course. But you can't have other people in jail and other people go with impunity. That's not the kind of land we want. That's not the kind of society we want to build.
Where's the evidence other people let go? Show the evidence other people let go. Show that evidence. Or you waging propaganda?
Let me finish.
No. We should stop propaganda. Show the evidence that somebody was not arrested or let go. You should not call it propaganda.
Guys, we're not going to do that tonight.
This is why creating chaos in our society. People who don't believe in truth with no integrity. They will intentionally lie and deceive.
Loje, we're not going to do that tonight. Let's protect the speaker. If you have a rebuttal, I will come to you and give you the time you need to give your rebuttal. But we cannot have the show where everybody talking. Mr. Porter, I will give you 30 seconds. Finish saying what you were saying.
Thank you. So my first thing here is, if the police on the scene can start giving report without even investigating, that's bias. A police, no trained policeman gave report on the scene of an incident. They go through that investigative process before they can even make statement. But you watch a video, you saw Besa on that video. You can quote what he said. You are a
thank you, Mr. Boda. Let me take Sheriff Abu. You have your finger raised up. Do you have a rebuttal? Go ahead.
Yeah, especially today, the UP people, they should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, you had a country for 12 good years. The same thing we're saying today. What is the difference? Why are you complaining now? You had 12 years. We saw the same police serving your president. And today, listen, what we saw and what I saw, the intel I've gathered from Lofa, precisely in Foya, the UP, look, can you imagine, listen to the former VP Boakai statement, what also statement who served the country for 12 good years. Somebody died in your hometown, your tribe man. You call that when somebody will provoke someone, somebody will die for it. Let the man be arrested, and this should be not CDC business. When the police and
Thank you, Mr.
Let's stop this talking.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Abu Sheriff. And we are pressed on time. If anyone have a rebuttal, I got another 30 seconds. You will take that other
my name was mentioned by the Unity Party gentleman. I think I need to respond to that quickly.
All right, I'll give Reverend Addy 30 seconds, and then I will give
no problem. You get 30 seconds. I don't mind.
Go ahead.
Look, I'm not surprised of the dishonesty that is being spewed here tonight by Unity Partisans.
Blowjay, can we respect the moderator as we discuss?
Hold on, are they? All right, okay. Are they? No problem. I thought I was giving it 30 minutes. No problem. They can go ahead.
Thank you, my friend and brother. So, my friend and brother, I believe he's Sharif. Sharif, keep on emphasizing the statement of the Honorable Joseph Boyka. Unfortunately, you have not read the full context of that statement. That statement was made in June, but because of political propaganda, so you've become a victim of that reality. The Honorable Joseph Boyka never spoke in the context of destroying Liberia. He spoke in the very context about the failure of the CDC through drug infestation, the lawlessness in our country. You know, I mean, I personally don't know which party you support, that you don't want to vote for either CDC or ANC, I mean, or Unity Party. But the fact remains, if you tell me your party, I can cite a statement that your party have stated. So stop propagating that we want war. CDC has a precedence for violence throughout our electoral process, as evidenced by the flogging of the LU students, as evidenced by the almost near death of Celia Ure, as evidenced by the voters' intimidation. So CDC is known for throwing rocks.
Thank you,
so stop fabricating stuff.
Bloje, 30 seconds. And then, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Bloje, 30 seconds. And then
yes.
Let me get 10 seconds of the 30 seconds, please.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We are not surprised at the dishonesty being spewed about Unity Party because the leader is very dishonest. He lacks integrity. For Unity Party to be bold. In fact, when Joseph Boyka went to Foya recently, he did not even apologize to the family. He did not even sympathize, as somebody said. There's a death in your own hometown. Forget about politics. There's human life. At least show some compassion, empathy. And people are here defending a brutal and wicked act. I mean, they're disconcerting. We should not even entertain this kind of discourse. It's shameful.
Let me give you a 15 seconds. Sheriff, and then we'll take a very brief break and we'll come back and we'll get right into our discussion on electoral violence.
Thank you. You know, it's a shame to our brothers, you know, coming here to propagate for Unity Party in the wrong way. It's very wrong. I'm a young man. I'm hurt to see a former state man who somebody would die in your hometown, in my hometown. He will play politics with it. You can't tell me, yeah, you say, oh, Mr. Boakai, oh, I misread, what he was saying. It's wrong. Mr. Boakai clearly stated, if they cheat, if they think they will cheat, let them go ahead. If they go ahead, this will be the end of the country. This is a statement that got thousands of people following him. This is the result of regular statement, and we should not.
Who do you support in these elections?
Thank you.
Who do you support?
Thank you. We have exhausted the time, guys. This would get Sherry, Bishop Hagar, Mr. Boda, to those of you watching us, we have exhausted time for this current event discussion. If you're watching us, please do us a favor. Continue to share the program and continue to follow the network. My name is Derek Yale, and I'm joined by my co-host, David Tagba, with a team of panelists. As you can see, the hard zone, there's no gimmick, no fluff, just real talk. But for now, we'll take a very brief break. When we come back, we'll get right into our discussion on electoral violence. But for now, let's take a very brief break.
They are allowing it. Oh, rest because they were saying to.
Welcome. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Are we still running ad or are we back on the show? Well, anyways, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from. You're right back here on the Liberia Radio and Television Network. And we're bringing you tonight episode 5, season 4 of The Hard Zone. The Hard Zone here is opinion-based talk show that features a team of panelists, as you can see on the screen right now. As you know, we're 5 days away from the general elections in Liberia, and as such, elections in Africa is prone to electoral violence. So this is the last show before the election. So I thought it wise for our panelists to talk to us about electoral violence. Unfortunately, we have had few incidents of electoral violence, the FOIA violence, and we've had statements coming from political leaders and all around politics in Liberia. So let's have our conversation based on that, and let's try as best as we can to caution the voters to stay away from electoral violence. And let's have that discussion. But before I do that, let me come to my co-host, David Tagba. Talk to us briefly about electoral violence in Liberia, how we can have political leaders not incite violence in Liberia. Mr. Tagba, let me give you the opportunity.
Thank you, Derek. The first thing is that the issue of the culture of impunity, in my view, is what is fueling electoral violence and other unlawful acts across Liberia. When people commit crimes and they're not brought to justice and they are let go, I think it's what is fueling electoral violence. Because the first thing is that if people commit crimes and they are not penalized or sent to court to make a determination whether they've actually committed that crime or not, and the next day you hear that they are released or they've left the country, so it doesn't deter others from taking similar route or committing similar crimes because they know that others have committed such crimes and they will let go. For example, somebody mentioned an issue about the situation at the U.S. Embassy, even though it's not part of the elections this time. There were some CDC COP, who allegedly attack LU students just right before the university and the UL Embassy. But at the end of the day, that battle just went dead. No one knows how it ended, how the investigation ended. Whether the guys were found guilty or not, up to now, people are wondering what happened to that case. Another situation is about the drugs that are arrested at the port of Monrovia. Where are the drugs? Where are the guys who brought it? They left the country. So you see what I'm talking about is when people commit crimes or are accused of committing crimes, I think it should be before the court, investigated, and if found guilty, be penalized in the jail for some time, or if not guilty, let go. But if the justice system is weak, people commit crimes, and all of a sudden the matter is swept under the carpet. Regarding the police too has to really keep up its integrity. Now in Liberia, across Liberia, the police is called CDC police. Why are people calling the police CDC police? Because of the operations of the police always in people's view, in the views of the public or in the views of Liberians, their operations always favoring the sitting government. So people call them CDC police. How can the police, free itself from such stigmatization or
Thank you.
characterization? So, these are some of the factors responsible for the issue of violence in
Thank you
Liberia,
very
most
much.
especially.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Chakwe. Now let's welcome Mr. Stephen Freeman, or Councillor Stephen Freeman. He's here to inject legal checkpoints in our discussions, and we brought him on for the discussion specifically to electoral violence. So, Mr. Freeman, or Councillor Freeman, again, welcome to the Horizon, Episode 5, Season 4.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'd like to start up the conversation before I go to our panelists on the issue of electoral violence. Before we even get to the party levels, to the voters, what is or how can the government of Liberia, or how can our justice or system help in what is their role in preventing electoral violence before the elections or after the election? Can you talk to us on that, and also you can help balance this conversation with your legal knowledge?
Yeah, thank you again. The issue of electoral violence, just as the last speaker said so eloquently, is an issue that goes beyond the elections that are almost at hand now, right? The issue of crime, the issue of people committing crimes and going unpunished, I think to a large extent can account for some of the things we see happening today as far as the election goes. People don't have confidence in our justice system. People do not have confidence in the police. People do not have confidence that when individuals are arrested, that they're going to be given due process of law, that they're going to be prosecuted according to the law. And it seems to me that even the Justice Department, well, forgive me when I say the Justice Department, I'm in the US. It seems to me that the Ministry of Justice has shown a lack of interest to some extent, and not just this administration. Over the years, the Ministry of Justice has shown a lack of interest to hold people accountable for things that they do in the society. We've seen time and again in Liberia when people violate our laws, they go unpunished. And let me be clear, the criminal justice system serves 5 major purposes, right? The first one is deterrence. We prosecute people to deter them from committing crime in the future, whether it be a specific deterrence or general deterrence to deter the general public, to incapacitate those that commit crime, to rehabilitate offenders of crime, okay? And for also to retribution. If we don't put all of these guiding principles as part of our mandate as law enforcers in the country, then people will just commit crime. And, we see the ripple effect even during the election when people make incendiary statements, people incite the violence, knowing very well that nothing might come out of it. So we see what's happening today in Liberia, not surprisingly, because we can look back years ago, we can look back a few months ago and say, look, where has the criminal justice system fallen short? And are we seeing the ripple effect of that even today during the elections? So it surprises no one that people commit these kinds of crime even during the time of election, and they may be held accountable. That remains to be seen. My hope is that the Ministry of Justice and the prosecutors in Liberia, the police officers will do their job. Because if we don't send a message that we are a law-abiding society, we'll continue to deteriorate, and that is going to have some serious long-term consequences.
Thank you. Now, just one question before I move on to our panelists. You said that it seems like the people do not have confidence in the system, and also you also said that the Justice Ministry seems to not have interest in holding people accountable, people that commit crime accountable. Now, specifically to this election, is that something that we should worry about, especially given the alarms of electoral violence? With what you just said, is that something that we should be concerned about, given that our election is in 5 days?
Well, certainly, most certainly. Look, I mentioned that the criminal justice system serves a series of reasons, right? Deterrence is one of them. In order for us to send a message that we will not tolerate people that violate the laws and people that incite violence, we have to be able to not only arrest people that violate the law, but also be able to successfully prosecute them in order to generally deter others from doing similar thing in the future. Because if we don't do that, then we have a society that is lawless. Some people might say this is innocuous. This is just a one-shot thing. It's not a one-shot thing. I think the issue of violence in Liberia goes beyond the CDC administration, certainly. It goes beyond Madam Saliva administration. One can look back to our war era, where people who commit some of the most egregious crime in our country, to this day, they're still not held accountable. So we all have to be concerned. This is not about partisan. It's not about CDC or United Party. It's about Liberia. It's about the sanctity of our democracy. It's about the sanctity of holding our fragile peace in place. Our peace is still fragile. We may have had a number of years now. This is this CDC term is about to be over soon. We're about to have election, but we've had some peace so far. Our peace is still very fragile. So it should be concerning to every well-meaning Liberian to hold the peace. And the way we do that is by adhering to the rule of law. The Minister of Justice and the minister is not the president's lawyer. He is simply there to uphold the laws and the Constitution and the statutes of the country. That means he has to do it impartially, without favor, fear, or intimidation. That needs to happen in order for people to have confidence in our system.
Thank you very much, Councillor Freeman, and thank you for always coming on here to erect legal checkpoints. And we'll bring you back on if we need you. But we will now move on to our panelists with the discussion. I would like to start with Mr. Dennis. Electoral violence. You heard from the councillor. The no confidence. The people having no confidence in the system. And also,
but don't forget, Mr. Moderator, that Ms. Grace Goa has not spoken yet, though. We keep passing her.
Wait, she didn't. We didn't take off for the previous discussion.
I spoke, but then I had a question, and you just let me.
I'm sorry. I'll pay attention. I apologize. I apologize for that. But after
woman right.
I will come to you next.
But you also too gotta be listening, because the lawyer answered the question, you can't ask him the same question again.
I know why I asked him. He said a lot of things. I don't have to explain my question.
I didn't make a problem.
Mr. Dennis, give us your take on electoral violence. You heard from the councillor.
Yeah, I think that some of the things the councillor is mentioning, it's he's living in a mature democracy where there is real consequence for law breaking here. But I mean, unfortunately, Liberia, the government itself is the lawbreaker. It's the main lawbreaker in Liberia today. So yeah, people don't really have confidence in the judicial system in Liberia. And when you look at what's going on with CDC doesn't have any real reason to lock up its own voters. They need them. CDC needs its voters. So the only real chance they have of winning is maybe to lock up the opposition. And I honestly expect a lot more violence, because both sides seem to be very passionate about who they want to win. So I expect more violence to happen. And I even will go a little bit further and say maybe even on election day, George Weah may even declare martial law and lock up more voters in Liberia. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis. That's a huge allegation. The only chance CDC have is to lock up opposition. But let me take you, Mr. Goa. Give us your take on the issue of electoral violence in Liberia, and also, if you can, why do you think the people don't have confidence in the system, according to the counselor, Mr. Goa?
Yeah, the reason I think that the people don't have trust in the justice system, because the justice system is unjust. You know, the lawyer was saying that the people, you know, they so far the peace have been, you know, there, and the people try to uphold the peace. The people try to uphold the peace because the people have been subdued. Look what happened in Foya. You cannot tell me I don't back United Party. They are not my cup of tea. I don't think Joseph Boakai is right for the country at this time. But you cannot tell me that what went on in Foya had only to do with United Party. The leading party, which is the government, has something to do with that. There is no way on earth that United Party will go incite violence and CDC will just stand there. They were part of the killing. They had something to do with it, and the kids needed to be investigated properly, and the justice system killed the people because they took one set of people and put them in prison and free the other set of people. The government has destroyed the justice system in Liberia. I know people say it come from back, but Ellen Johnson said, every time I went to Liberia so many times, although it was not perfect, but this was not like this. This government has destroyed the justice system. The police are taking or demands and commands from Jefferson Kochi. The government is very unsophisticated, and they're writing their stuff on the head. So if the government is behaving like that, the people will actually behave the way they are behaving, and there will be no justice in Liberia. And that's why I'm calling on the Liberian people.
Thank you.
Don't sit there and allow them to take advantage
of it.
Let me make one correction here. Actually, the government hasn't freed anybody, though all those who were arrested in connection to the Foya violence, they stay in the custody of the police. What is of concern is transferring another group to another place and leaving out the other group is what is of concern now, or even the concern of the international observers. But the government has not freed seditionists or free unity partisans, although they are staying in the custody of the police, but the attempt by the police to transfer the unity partisans to another prison or another country is what is of concern. So the government has not freed anybody in connection.
And that's the injustice right there.
Thank you very much, David. Now let me take you to Choppy Charlie. I know you heard the counselor. You also heard from Mr. Dennis. You heard his statement on the real chance of CDC winning or having a chance in this election is by locking up opposition. If you care to respond to that, you can. But talk to us about the electoral violence in Liberia.
Look, I'm never surprised at those who are seeking and very thirsty for power. The only sad part is people are being very dishonest because of their desperation for power, and they want to flame chaos in the country. And that's very sad. We have to be honest with ourselves if we all claim that we love our country. You cannot wage intentional falsehood and deception against the government only because you want to score political points. All of the arguments being offered against the government today are all falsehood. And the reality here is that even when we look at the police itself, this police department that we have was not trained by George Weah. George Weah met everybody in the police department that is in the police right now. Even the police commander that was in Foya was working in Foya before George Weah became president. So, you know, it's a strange kind of reasoning that lacks real logic when people blame George Weah for these problems, this legacy, this bad legacy that was left by the Unity Party. The Weah government has been trying to solve this problem. Liberia is now 6 years old. Liberia is 200 years old as a nation. I mean, minus the independent, plus the independent, the founding of the country, Liberia is about 200 years old. 6 years, president is doing more, at least on George Weah. Drug dealer has been arrested and prosecuted and taken to court. On Unity Party, no drug dealer went to court. We heard the arrest of drug dealer, but they never went to court. There's a difference. There are a lot of things that did not happen is happening now. And I think because of the enlightenment of the government behavior, People want to blame the government because they are so desperate for power. But on Tuesday, we're going to win first round ballot.
Thank you. Let me give you 15 seconds to respond to this question. According to the counselor, the people don't have confidence in the justice system. My question to you is, do you agree with that statement? And also, can we trust the justice system in carrying its response and carrying its role to prevent electoral violence?
Look, there is confidence in the justice system. Otherwise, people wouldn't be going to the police and reporting their cases to the police. We wouldn't be calling the police when they need assistance in the various communities. The question is, do we need the justice system need more support, more robust? I would say yes, but to say there's no confidence, that's far from reality. The president is not responsible for the court. The criminal justice system is not just about the police. The court has a major role to play. The president does not control the court.
It starts from
the president does not control the court. The president does not control the court.
Thank you.
So if cases go to the court and nothing happens, it's not the fault of the president.
Thank you very much, Lord Charlie. Let me take you, Mr. Sharif Abu. Mr. Sharif Abu, give us a take on this electoral violence. If you've heard from the councilor.
I'm watching the time. I'm watching the time. You saw.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So I mean, it's clear. I guess somebody was on here previously trying to ask who I support. I am a proud CPPN. I support Mr. Cummings. I mean, we all been following the rallies, the campaign activities since the beginning of this election process. You can clearly see that Mr. Cummings is a peaceful man, almost throughout since 2016 to up to present. All of his rallies, all of his campaign activities, everything has been civil, loving, caring, and responsible. Mr. Cummings is the only politician who called on his followers, go home. Do not come on the street and hurt yourself. I am not better than you. You are the one that I'm fighting for, and I will be in this for you. So electoral violence is a recipe for CDC and UP. That is why you see whenever they having even a little rally, you have fighting and killings and everything. So these people need to be out. They need to go. UP cannot come back, and CDC has to go. So I'm calling on all Liberians to please vote for Mr. Cummings. This is the civil. He's going to be the civil politician. He's going to be.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
He's going to be the future.
I'd like to ask Sherry a question.
Go ahead, David. David has a question.
Mr. Abu, not Mr. Sherry. Mr. Abu.
Yes, sir.
There are other Liberians who say that the CPP, the LPP, and other parties beside the United Party and the CDC, the CPP, the LPP will always have peaceful campaigns because, as far as many Liberians are concerned, they're no threat. They're no threat. They are below the ladder, so no one cares. So that's why their campaigns are always peaceful. The spotlight is on the CDC and the United Party. That's people's view, many people's views. That's why you're always having a peaceful.
What do you say to that? Go ahead.
It's sad, my brother. It's delusional, to even think so that CPP, LP, because they're not having violence, so that means they're below the ladder. It's just sickening. Anybody who thinks that a person's sick in the head. It's clear. Look at these people reckon. And the idea that somebody got to fight, somebody got to die, or somebody come and put money in their pocket, or somebody got to come and do that. Look, our politics has been run on rhetoric. You came up, I will vote for you. People died. We saw the result. We want in our country. People die. We want results. We saw Baboon Web, Baboon Jaw, what kind of Ellington. We saw the result. Now we saw again, boy, again, we are fighting. Then again, they are coming with another slogan. Oh, we agree. You went on 30 million saga in Ghana. We agree. You sick. We agree. You dying today. We agree. How can a country, a serious country, run on this type of rhetoric? It's
Thank
sickening.
you.
Can you
Thank
imagine
you.
somebody thinking that because somebody died in a rally, that means the person is below the ladder? How can a human being think like that? I'm
Thank you
challenging
very much. Thank you very much.
Mr.
Thank you very
Kudus
much,
is the best
Thank
man
you
in
very
this race. He's the future for
Thank
Liberia.
you very much,
He
Mr.
cannot afford to lose it
Abu.
this time around.
Mr. Abu, thank you very much. Bishop Hagar, let me take you next.
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm listening to your question.
Go right and respond to the electoral violence you've heard from the panelists and the counselor.
Well, listen, we are very peaceful. We want peaceful electoral process. We are law-abiding, responsible party. The records are there. After 12 years of the Unity Party, all the international organizations that talk about peace, even when in awarded Ellen Johnson Sirleaf the Nobel Prize for Peace, the Unity Party has always been peaceful. The issue of violence have been introduced in our politics. These are people that carry casket around. The first day of their campaign, they were carrying casket for Joseph Boakai and say Joseph Boakai have died. These are people that don't respect any norms of our society. This CDC, let me tell you, I will quote Wahofo Bonyi, one of the most peaceful presidents. He said that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It's not because we don't have conflict means we'll have peace. No. When justice is not present, you will always have issues. CDC have created George Weah incompetent, the most incompetent president in human history. That George Weah. He had no control over anything like that. The man Denzel Buka. He stole all the Liberian people's money. Let me tell you something. This man came to power. He never had a dime. He built all the horses. The man was in Ivory Coast with us. He couldn't even pay than school fee. They were going to refugee school. Let's ask them. They were going to refugee school. And then he took all the money. That man is a criminal. We're going to charge him. We're going to deal with him. He didn't want to create the conflict. He didn't want to cause the problem. George Weah is a problem.
You have exhausted your time.
It's a disappointment, and we'll take it on Tuesday.
I have a question for him.
Go right ahead. Bishop Hagar, David has a question for you.
Bishop Hagar, is it not an irony for you to claim that Unity Party is a peaceful party when in fact the Unity Party is now being investigated along with the CDC for killing 2 persons in Fuya District of County? How can a party that's peaceful will be fighting and in a fight people die? Innocent life is taken.
I salute you for that question. Thank you.
Can I answer that question?
I will give you an opportunity, Mr.
David.
Yeah.
The records are there. I just quoted when we ruled Liberia for 12 years with all the provocation. Even the
my question is about the Fuya.
Listen, what happened in Fuya is unfortunate. It was not an orchestrated Unity Party. It happened at the local level. Those are things that happen anywhere in the world. Even the great United States of America, those things happen. Our responsibility, the way that our Standard Bearer addressed it was to call on our partisans to be peaceful and allow the law to take its course. That's what Joseph Boakai said. He addressed the partisans. We're not a partisan. CDC was corrupt Thomas Fala. They didn't want to instigate this thing. All that money he stole, he will pay for it.
Bishop Hagar, do you want him to rephrase the question? He asked you don't think it's an irony?
What irony at the local level? The people were provoked. They were provoked. It was just a natural response of provocation.
But
everywhere in the world, people are provoked. They also react.
So are you agreeing that you took part in the violence that killed the 2 persons because you were provoked? Is it an admission of what happened?
What I'm saying is unfortunate. We don't condone any violence. But human beings are human beings. Things happen when people provoke you. You can't control people respond to provocation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So because the CDC provoke you, so your partisan killed the 2 innocent persons. Is that why
you want to justify
what I'm saying?
Is that why you justify?
Listen to me now. You gotta understand. What would the party respond? What would the Standard Bearer respond? He addressed. He had leadership. He came and just what is incompetent George Weah say that day? Ever say anything?
Mr. Vega, let me get Mr. Dennis' response to that, and then I'll go to the next panelist. Mr. Dennis.
So I don't, and let me state unequivocally here that I'm not a UP supporter. Okay, but I don't think there is anywhere in the UP doctrine that states that UP supports act of violence. This act of violence was an organic act. People were provoked, and we're going to see more of this. This is not UP telling their partisans to go out and kill people. We don't. There is nowhere in the UP doctrine that says that. So the question that he's asking is he's trying to make a false equivalence here. UP is not, and I don't think, and I mean, you can quote me if I'm wrong too. I don't know if CDC in their doctrine they are promoting violence. So these acts of violence, and you can say because these two people are very passionate about who they want to win. And this is why you don't see Alex Cummings people, ANC people getting any kind of headway in Liberia because their voters are not as passionate as the UP and the CDC people. You know, CDC, somebody will stand in the line for 5 hours and vote for George Weah. But if it's raining on that day, all Alex Cummings supporters will go home. They're not as passionate as voters as they are.
So, can I speak to this a little bit? No,
Mr. Abu, we still have other panelists that have to give their position.
10 seconds, please.
I will give you that 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
I will give you the 10 seconds, but let me take Mr. Jawinkin Weah first. After Mr. Weah, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, while I've been listening, I've been getting text messages from other people. I want to clarify this very quickly: that the LPP of Tiawonse Gonglo is not joining with the CDC of George Weah. So whoever's telling you that it's not a true story, I got call, I got messages, people asking me whether Gonglo is joining with George Weah party. No, the information is not true. I want to just state that emphatically here over the air that Gonglo is still, as I speak to you, is in Grand Jida. So campaign, we are in the race, and the race will be decided by the Liberian people. We are not matching with anybody. But on the question of that, if you look at the CDC, the so-called CDC and the Unity Party that are maybe popular in Liberia, well, under the two leadership of CDC and Weah, they have been unable to deal with the problem of insecurity and corruption in the country, because Liberia has two major problems, as I always say on this show. And the two major problems we are suffering with in Liberia is not because of poverty, it's not because we don't have enough resources, it's because people are worshiping corruption. They think if you are in power, you need to use all the resources to enrich yourself and your family and your relatives. And none of these two parties, I mean CDC and Unity Party, I've ever told you Liberian people that they will do anything about that. But I guarantee you on day one, if Gonglo were to take power, the first executive order will be to empower the Liberian National Police and all security apparatus to arrest anybody who is involved, regardless of your position in the country. With our rule of law in the country, there is no way for you to develop, because even if you get Liberia $1 million, 20 billion, whatever amount of money, that money will be pocketed. Liberia will not benefit. You got selected justice system in Liberia, and that will not happen under Gonglo. That is why, as I always say on this show, that all the rhetoric that you're hearing around, all the noises in the street, or people are drumming up, doing this.
Thank you.
That is not the solution in the country. So
thank you. Thank
again,
you very much.
Rule of law, selected justice, Gonglo going to put that to rest. Thank you.
Mr. Weah, just a quick question before I go to Mr. Abu to clarify. Do you agree with Bishop Hagar that Unity Party is a peaceful party?
Well, Unity Party is not a peaceful country because if you cannot enforce the rule of law, then you are not peaceful. Because once you are not enforcing the rule of law, then there should be violence. Under Unity Party, people die also. The same way people are dying under Weah. There is no justice system under the two ruling parties.
Thank you very much. Unless Mr. Abu give us a rebuttal, and then I'll come to you, Reverend Adi.
Yes, real quick to my brother Joy. Is it Joy or something? I'm
Mr.
sorry
Dennis.
if I mispronounce it. But this idea that the people are not passionate. What makes it? Look, what sense does it make when you are passionate that you will kill another human being because you are passionate for somebody to be a president? let's think about that for a minute. I mean, we are bringing a different ideas to our politics. The CPP, ANC, Liberty Party, Gonglo. I'm telling you, I'm a CPP man, but I'm gonna tell you for sure, we want peace in our country. We got a fragile society, a gullible society. You cannot be passionate.
Thank you, Mr. Abu.
Everything that we have preserved for 20 almost 20 years.
Thank you.
It makes sense. You talk
Thank you,
about
Abu. Thank you, Mr. Abu.
CPP went to court with United Party, though, so what peace you got?
Thank you, Mr. Abu.
You should talk about what peace.
Mr. Abu. Let me go to Reverend Addy. Let me go to Reverend Addy. Let me get the Reverend.
Right, that's
Mr. Abu. Let's call the show to order. Let me go to Reverend Addy, and then after Reverend Addy, I'll come to you with this score. Mr. Abu, let's protect Reverend Addy. Reverend Addy, 1 minute 30 seconds.
Are the higher man or the Reverend?
Thank you. You know, I quite frankly enjoy my friend and brother Mr. Abu's passion.
It's
Mr. Abu.
You're sorry.
Okay, Mr. Sheriff's passion. Mr. Sheriff, if I said to you our democracy is under threat, our peace is shaky, what does that mean?
I mean, explain yourself. Right now, our peace is under threat by Mr. Boakai and the CDC government.
Why against it, George Weah?
Reverend Addy, this is a minute 30 seconds. Do you want to encourage the exchange?
No. That is fine. Listen.
Go ahead.
So our democracy is threatened. Our peace is shaky. That also, if you look at it on the surface, what makes you think it's threatened? What makes you think it's shaky? You want to bring war? You know who made that statement? Do you know?
What I know is Mr. Boakai said the country will come to an end.
Mr. Sheriff.
Excellent. So the person that made that statement, the person that made that statement 1 month after the Honorable Joseph Imam Boyka's statement was Alexander Benedict Cummings, when he addressed George Weah government from the State of the Nation. He made that statement. Our peace is shaky. Our democracy is threatened. Should one conclude that he wants to bring war? Should CDC assume? How dare he say such a thing in a country that our peace is being managed peacefully? How dare he say such a thing in the country that our democracy is threatened? I'm the president. How dare he say that as an opposition when I'm doing everything to lead? But that is the political hypocrisy. In the context of the CDC, did we just go on an ad while I'm talking? Did we just go on an ad while I'm talking?
That was an error.
That was an error.
That was an error. That was an error. So let me conclude. Yeah. So let me conclude, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be very clear. We know that there's one party in this race that has told the Liberian people, in the words of Jefferson Koji, that they will defend this revolution with their blood, sweat, and tears. We know that there's one party in this revolution, in the like of Philibert Brown, who supports CDC, just told Liberian people to buy food and stock it up because there will be potential violence. There's one party in this race that is on the record for toting casket, beating up the LU students. There's one party.
Yeah. You see now, you're talking plain that your network not correct, Pastor.
CDC hacking him.
No, my network with your network doing nothing. Archivist Gray took a bunch of seditions to LU campus. They were the same party that tried to kill Miss Telia Ure. They were the same party that is noted for throwing stones. And here we are, a president, after signing the Farmington Agreement, threatening Mr. Goodrich.
Thank you.
That he will beat him up. The same president. So this party is known for violence. So don't make up stuff. The facts are glaring and they are clear. And Mr. Sheriff, that was the comments of Alexander Cummings. Should I conclude that he wants war?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Reverend. Thank you very much, Reverend.
No, Omen, you can't be taking 5 seconds times for the dog.
Mr. Sheriff. Let me go to Mr. Boda. Let me go to Mrs. Goa. Let me go to Mrs. Goa. And then Mr. Boda, if we still have time, I will come back to you if you have a rebuttal.
So I don't have a chance to jump in here.
I was.
I will give you an opportunity to blow J as well. Go ahead, Mrs. Goa.
I wanted to respond to Blue Jay. Blue Jay said that the president does not control the court system in Liberia. The president does control the court system in Liberia. In the case of Kabina Jenner, he did control the court system in Liberia. In the case of the auditors that died, that justice that was not served, he did control the court system. In the case of Wani Cummings, sexual harassment against Kemenya, when the Senate approved him to be senator, when that allegations were up, President Weah did control the Senate at that particular time. So President Weah is a president that controls every government entity and every government the judicial system. He controls the executive. He controls everything in Liberia. He just have to say the word and it's going to be done. I am telling the Liberian people, do not trust CDC government. When you go to the post on October 10th, do not trust ANC. Do not trust UP. ANC and UP were together. The people trusted them that they were going to bring take Weah out. They made confusion among the old men that were making flower jet of women. They made confusion when they said they went to court. That's the reason why they split today, so they cannot even maintain leadership. That's why you should change your direction to a new Liberia, where Dr. Clarence Kpeye Moniba will take over Liberia and bring Liberia to a new place for the betterment of you, your children, your future generations to come. So you open your eyes. You open your eyes, Liberian people. You're not being fooled by them anymore. These people been running for 12 years and 7 years. They still cannot even, they don't even have a real agenda that they run on. Their agenda is not there. They don't have any agenda. They are even going on that a website and stealing her agenda right now. So they don't even know what they're doing.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Goa. Just a quick.
Even the party.
Mr. Sherry. Mr. Sherry.
But they say he got a certain lifestyle.
Mrs. Goa.
Bring that up.
Opinion pool time. Do you agree with Bishop Hagar that Unity Party is a peaceful party? Mrs. Goa.
I do not agree that Unity Party is a peaceful party. The reason why I do not agree that there's a lot of confusion within the Unity Party themselves, besides the election violence. Mr. Bwaka, Ambassador Bwaka cannot hold his party together. In the case of Henry Costa, he couldn't even hold that. Every time there's some confusion going among his partisans and they are fighting among themselves. Mr. Bwaka is an elderly man. We respect him for the time he's serving the country. He needs to retire. Executive mansion is not a nursing home. We are not putting people in that. We need ejected people to rule Liberia and lead Liberia to the right place. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Goa. Mr. Boda, give us a take on this electoral violence conversation.
Well, it's sad. I mean, we need to. Liberians have to understand at this time of our political discourse, and the protestality is high. The energy level is so high among everybody. Every party needs to urge our supporters to be peaceful. Nobody has control over violence. And in the situation with the situation in Foya, it was unfortunate. And it's all started with leadership. Tama of what I call him. Thomas Fala has a militia in his house. You are a sitting lawmaker. And these are the things that are causing power in our society. The people lead their duty, their constitutional responsibility, and become a militant. When we start seeing a political party become a militant, you got barrel all over your head, all over everybody's a militant. This is a democracy. This is not an army front. We are not at a war. This is where we disagree with ideas, and then we come on the battle box. But it's unfortunate that you got people who have become militant. You know, it's very unfortunate that we taking our democracy into a whole military arena, and this potential has got its own potential, because that's why you see the violence so high on the side of the young people, because they see that leader into military action. They're ready to go to war. You know, and these are we are leaders. We have to label examples, and it's sad that this is not happening. The violence, we pray that it shouldn't happen. But it's not good for our country.
Mr. Boda, before I give Bloji the opportunity to rebuttal, let me ask you this question though, because someone myself was in the conversation recently, and they said that Unity Party and CDC are primarily responsible for most of the violence surrounding our elections, because it's been 18 years of Unity Party and CDC just killing each other, given from the last 2 elections and these elections. What do you make of that? Unity Party and CDC are primarily responsible, according to them, are primarily responsible for the electoral violence. What do you say to
that?
Well, CDC have prompted a lot of this violence because they got a militant potential. Everything about them is militant. It's about Mediterranean style of leadership. They behave that they are in the military. They are military. So you see young people, look in the history of that, bro. Where you ever saw a political party with Barrett, like my brother sitting there tonight, now know the respect to him. But see, all of them, everybody were in the Barrett.
You're not
in the military.
You're not going to him next, right?
Yeah, you can go there. He can say what he wants to say. Yeah, right to speak.
Let me take your rebuttal, and then I have a question for you, and then we'll get back to Councilor Freeman so he can close this out for us.
Yeah, but I think my rebuttal, I also have my own time. There's a dishonesty. I talk about Unity parties in the party where Barrett, they dress similar like the CDC, but yet he's critiquing CDC. I mean, I don't understand these people. Where planet they come from? Unity Party, in fact, in FOIA, on the same day of this violence, we saw the leader of Unity Party, 800 men on video. Yes. Most of them was wearing red t-shirt, and he was boasting about Unity Party military strength. The 800 men in FOIA, and most of the people who participated in that violence wore red t-shirt. Yet he's blind to Unity Party violence. For 12 years, when Unity Party was in power, we saw the constant violence against the opposition. Even sponsored by the state, the police itself was very violent against the CDC. Today, he said, oh, the Unity Party has a right to defend itself because they were provoked. But for 12 years, when the police was attacking the CDC, even when at the CDC headquarters, and always we see them attacking the CDC offices or headquarters. But it's, how can I be in my house? You come to my house, attack me, and you say, I provoke violence. I'm in my house. You went on the CDC compound and attacked the CDC, but you blame the CDC for being violent. You murder people in the CDC headquarters, but the CDC was violent. In FOIA, you went to Thomas Pala's house and murder people, but yet Thomas Pala is violent. What kind of reason is the Unity Party comprised of? But we understand the strategy. We understand the strategy. They cannot win this election. Similarly, like you talk about comments, and look at the kind of moral equivalency. I hear the defense comment. If Cummings said Liberia democracy is shaking, is threatening, Cummings is right. It's a fact. Unity Party is threatening our democracy. It's a factual statement. Cummings is not saying I will shake Liberia democracy or I will threaten Liberia democracy. No. The Unity Party demonstrated the same behavior in the CPP. They could not win the CPP primary. They created chaos. They violated the rules. They went on the street. They protested. They were all permit. It's the same thing. They cannot win these elections, and so they are engaging in similar violence that they did in CPP. They destroyed the CPP, and the same thing Bagua say, it will be the end of Liberia, but it will be the end of Bagua political career, because there will be no second round. Bagua will be defeated and retire in Wasonga, in his hometown in FOIA.
Thank you very much. Reverend Adi, we
are going Bloje.
Hey, gentlemen, it's my time.
Go ahead, Reverend Adi.
Oh, I thought Reverend Adi just spoke.
No.
Reverend Adi, 30 seconds.
No, y'all get blow your fuse up. You don't know what breaking up, man. Your fuse up here. You don't know what breaking up. No, you don't know.
No, I heard Blue Jay.
Thank you.
No.
Under President Weah, our country, I beg you.
Let's protect Reverend Adi.
Under President Weah, Our country has become increasingly lawless. Lawlessness is a serious threat to democracy and the risk of any nation's stability and security. Our peace is shaky. Too many Liberians are living in fear. Too many are jobless, and too many are without employable skills. These are bad and getting worse. You know who said that, Blue Jay? Alexander Benedict Cummings. Mr. Sheriff, Alexander said that.
But that is
Yeah,
not bad,
because
though.
most of the Unity Party
It's not
lost their job after they left power and they are threatening the country. Most of the Unity Party lost their political appointment and they are threatening the peace of the country.
Lord J, I submit that you please protect me.
Lord J, go ahead, Reverend.
You see, thank you kindly. You attempted to mischaracterize Mr. Cummings' statement, but he was actually talking about your government. The functions of your government has posed a threat to Liberia's peace and security, as evidenced by drug infestation, unemployment, drug addiction, proliferation of over 800 ghettos in the country, armed robbery on the rise, unemployment, squandering $1 million US that was given for the use by the EU. All of these realities, poverty on the rise, we're sending more Western, and that is why the Honorable Joseph Imam Boyka has put forth a clear vision, a vision that is self-style arrest, agriculture, where we can become food secure, roads, infrastructure development, health and sanitation, precisely to clean up the filthy city that Jefferson Koji would not clean up, and it looks very normal. So much so that somebody has to criticize us from the international community that our country is the dirtiest city in the world. So much so our democracy is threatened to the point where
more than $1 billion
$140 million worth of cocaine is devastating our youth. This is a truth, and we must stand together as a young people.
Reverend Adi, thank you very much, Reverend Adi. You have
30 seconds.
I actually gave you more.
I was looking at my time because I talk fast.
You actually have more than 2 minutes of that, Reverend Adi. But again, guys,
no problem. Wow.
All of the panelists, thank you for your contribution. It is true we have one thing in common, that is Liberia. We all would like to discourage the idea of electoral violence. But before I close on this, let me give Councilor Freeman 2 minutes again to put all of this. We out of time. We out of time. We will have both of you. We will have both of you. Our next conversation, Mr. Sheriff, our next conversation, I will give you the opportunity to you too, Mr. Goa. You can rebuttal after the prince. You can do that. But let me give the councilor 2 minutes. Again, just close this out on electoral violence, the role of the government. You've talked about it. What message do you have for the voters, the National Elections Commissions, political institutions, and the government of Liberia, all of us, to come together to prevent electoral violence before and after the elections? Councilor Freeman, talk to us.
I would like to start by saying peace is not an abstract concept. Peace is not an abstract concept. We are all custodians of the peace in Liberia. We must all do our part. Our political leaders must encourage their followers to adhere to the peace and to keep the peace in place. Should the peace be threatening Liberia, there'll be no country to govern. In order to have a country, Liberia, to govern, there must be peace. Every one of us, every one of you on the show, you're here because of Liberia. And so we all have a role to play. You know, there are a lot of back and forth about who does what. But ultimately, if there's no peace in our country, there won't be a Liberia to govern. We'll all be exiled again and go places. Our friends and our families will be displaced. There'll be more hunger and more poverty. The election is almost at hand. Ultimately, somebody is going to win. People might disagree with, who is ultimately elected. But in the end, let us all remember that Liberia is what matters. Liberia is what matters. I will urge the Election Commission to do their job and do it diligently and do it consistent with their statutory obligations under the law. They have to ensure that the election is free, it's fair, it's credible, so that people can have confidence in the result. Because absence any of these things, it threatens the peace. And should the peace be threatened, we as a country will not be able to stand. I know people have said, this person said this and that person said this, but let us try to keep the peace. We've done it so far. We can continue to do it again. In terms of the rule of law, I call on the Ministry of Justice to continue to do their job and do it without fear, favor, or intimidation. We cannot do it partially. We have to be impartial in our adjudication, in our prosecution. We have to do it in a way that people have confidence, even if they don't agree with the result. They can look at it and say, you know what? The people did their job and they did it diligently. That's the kind of Liberia we should strive to build. We cannot continue to have a Liberia where if the CDC is in power, then everyone else on the other side disagree. If it's the unit party in power, everyone on the other side disagree. We all have to say this is about Liberia, and we have to do what is right. The election is here. I hope that the Supreme Court plays their role. I understand from reading an article today that the Chief Justice said that the court has been put in a very difficult spot. I get it, but the court still has a role to play. The court has to play that role regardless of whether or not it's in a difficult spot. It may very well be that the election may be challenged. The court has to be ready. That's why we appoint those people as some of the smartest people in our country, so that when a time like this comes, they can stand and adjudicate the matter without fear or favor. And that's what the Constitution requires. So, we all have our political aspirations, but ultimately, let's put Liberia first. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Freeman, and thank you for bringing your legal knowledge here and balancing our conversation. So, again, we'll move on to our next conversation. As always, you're free to stay, but at this junction, we'd like to thank you so much for your time here on the Hard Zone. And to those of you watching us, this is the Hard Zone on the LRTN network. And we would like to take a very brief break. When we come back, as you know, it's 5 days away from the general elections in Liberia. So our conversation will be tailored, read around the conversations leading up to the elections. Who will unseat President Weah, or will President Weah be re-elected? Let's take a very brief break. When we come back, we'll get into all around politics, pre-elections discussions. Again, this is the Hard Zone on the Liberia Radio and Television Network. See you after the break.
Hey there. Many Liberians are members of social clubs, 501c NGOs, and school alumni. Many Liberians are trying to open their own 501c NGOs, home care agencies, and social clubs. Does your organization have a professional website? Does your web platform have the right wording and content to attract grants? Hopefully you're not running your organization only through social media. There's a more professional route. You need an online space where you can craft a positive message about your organization, making your home health agency more credible, which will increase your chances to receive grants. We'll build you a responsive platform for 501c organizations, healthcare agencies, and other types of organizations. We'll provide you with full website maintenance, membership sign-in, private charts, Facebook and WhatsApp integration, live video feed for all your meetings and special occasions, a dashboard for members to see all the activities, and email and text auto reminders for meetings. We'll build with donors and 501cs in mind, and will help you solicit grants and automatic membership due collections. Building you this amazing platform will only be a membership fee of $19 a month. Call or email us now. Let's upgrade your website. Home health agencies and small businesses, you owe it to your company to project the best image possible, and we can make it happen. Visit www.tiamit.com or call 215-966-8679. Ask for Tommy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you're here on the Liberia Radio and Television Network, local media institution right here in Northeast Philadelphia. We also operate in Liberia, and LRT Internet is bringing you episode 5, season 4 of the Hard Zone. And we have, my name is Derek Yale. I'm playing host, and with my co-host, Mr. David Talkby, from Liberia. And the team of panelists here having a very interesting conversation on issues surrounding Liberia, politics, and the diaspora as well. As was promised, we'll get right into the pre-elections discussion all around politics. As you guys have been following politics in Liberia. Before I do that, let me encourage you, those of you watching us, to please share the program. Share the program on your Facebook page. Make sure that you, friends, and family may be able to benefit from the discussion that we're about to have. As we are 5 days away from the elections, we are seeing serious confidence being expressed by the incumbent, that is the Congress, the CDC, and also Unity Party, claiming they will take this election on first round victory. Let's see who's going to unseat President Weah on Tuesday, or is President Weah going to, in his words, flog them again? He flogged them the last election, and he's going to flog them again. But before we get into these discussions, let me come to you, Mrs. Goa. I know you had a rebuttal from the previous conversation, and Mr. Sheriff, I will come to you next. So you can give us what you have from the previous conversation. You can start us up on this conversation.
Okay. So I wanted to respond to Mr. Sheriff. Mr. Sheriff, for your information, marriage is not a prerequisite to the presidency of Liberia. The Constitution do not state that, and Dr. Moniba is a decent single man, carrying himself very well. He's not dropping his pants all over the place like most married people that have children outside of their marriages. Madam Grace Pan is a married woman. She's been married for several years, and very decent lady, and she is his VSB. Charlene Bronsky, who is Mr. Cummings' VSB, is a single woman living with a boyfriend at this point in time. So if you want to talk about marriage and Liberia presidency, you are on the wrong platform. Because the most best world leaders got in power of being married. Putin is one of them. Although he's very, very bad off in other things, but the economy in his country is going well. He's a single man. He is.
Thank you.
President of America, Thomas Buchanan, that you named Buchanan after in your country, he was single man in America when he got to be the president of the great United States of America. So marriage has nothing to do with this.
Thank you, Mrs. Goa. Now let me give you 30 seconds, Mr. Sheriff, to respond to that.
First of all, I would just clear that real quick. Not the VSB running to be president. She's VP, and Mr. Kumi is running to be president.
But she live with her boyfriend. She's the VSB, and she live with her boyfriend that she's not married to. Dr. Moniba don't live with her. He's a single guy, and he's a decent man. His name is not all over the place. He's not sleeping all around.
Mrs. Goa,
thank you. To be president of Liberia because he has to do that. Cummings don't have that. So that be clear.
Yeah, sure. I will not be clear. As it stands in Liberia, we are very guarded people. I'm not saying that it's wrong to be single. I'm not saying that. I mean, it just speaks something to a man character. You being almost your 50 and not being married. I mean, of course, I would. Yeah, but listen,
Mrs. Goa, let's protect.
Listen, it speaks to somehow. I don't know how it feel. I don't know how any man feel. As at the age of 27, I'm married. I got kids. I'm legally married. But I'm telling you this, it brings some responsibility. We're talking about the highest seat of our country, not because other countries did it, and so it's okay to do it. I mean, it's fine. The Constitution never stated anything to say, oh, it's illegal. It's not. But it leveled the Liberian to judge. I'm just putting the information out there that Mr. Clarence Moniba is not married. I mean, he's going to be a single man. So,
also
you put a single man, I don't know who's going to be our first lady. But anyway, that's not the thing.
Mr. Sheriff,
it's my turn. I mean, she kept interrupting me.
You exhausted in 30 seconds.
Oh, she kept interrupting me. My man, you talk about exhausted again. My man, what kind of book man is about people?
Let me.
Yeah, but
tonight attack the moderator. Just go out and middle clean. Don't attack the moderator. Anyways, let me give you 10 seconds to finish off, and then let's move on. I give you 30 seconds.
Right, so,
30 seconds. Go ahead.
For me, I will use that 10 seconds to tell the people that Mr. Cummings is a very decent man. He's a Christian man. He believes in every Liberian, be a Muslim or Christian, wherever you come from. please go and vote Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings is the future. We cannot afford to lose this man presidency. We have yearned for change. You cannot change when you are once.
You know what? You cannot afford to lose it. Thank you. I'll ask you. Let's move. Let's move on. Let me go to my quote. Let's move on.
I swear to God, I told you behind the scenes.
You have exhausted. Yeah, you have exhausted your time.
But it's okay. I will come back.
Mr. Sherry, you exhausted. Mr. Taiwo, let me come to you since we're having a discussion. I think you reported in the current event that the top 5 presidential candidates, including Mr. Cummings, Mr. Moniba, Tiawan Konglo, Unity Party, or Stand-Up Bureau, Joseph Newman Boakat, and George Weah boycotted the presidential debate. Do you care to elaborate on that? And let's have our panelists and have that discussion real quick.
And the CPP's Alexander Cummings all boycotted the recent debate. None of them show up. 3 runners, as you call them in Liberia of the 2010 election.
Is it just me or?
Elections.
Mr.
Yeah, Derek? So, gentlemen, you hearing me, right? I think Derek having a problem. Gentlemen, you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So let's talk about October 10 is coming. The October 10 elections are almost here. It's next week, Tuesday. Let's look at the candidates. Who, in your view, from your own analysis, will emerge victorious? George Weah be re-elected? Joseph Boakai be re-elected? Alexander Cummings beating George Weah, beating Boakai? From your own analysis, for what all you saying, following, who is to emerge victorious? Let me start from Bishop Hager. Sorry, I missed your name. Bishop Hager.
Bishop Hager, thank you very much.
And give the factors, give reasons to support your position.
What? Honestly, George Weah have been campaigning against himself since he became president. The man became president, started stealing the Liberian people money. He was very broke. All the evil being taking place in his country, the man have never said anything. He's a bobo, incompetent man. So the election is very easy. We ain't even got to campaign much. You saw how Unity Party people are buying their own T-shirt, standing the people water just to show the George Weah must go. I listened to different radio stations in Liberia, gazing the view of people. The people are tired with incompetent, corrupt government. So on this coming Tuesday, I am convinced that the mistake the Liberian people made, because in 2017, George Weah was a savior. Nobody have tested him.
You have 2 seconds, sir.
And we made a big mistake. Now Liberian people are repented. And they're going to tell that man, vacate the presidency and go dance your buka. The man at buka dance, so let him go dance in the nightclub. That's it.
Okay, so let me go to let your comment statement of Blow J chopping Charlie.
Yeah,
Blow
you
J,
know.
what's your position?
Yeah, let's look at it. Illogical thinking of Unity Partisan. Unity Partisan goes to a rally with Joseph Boakai and it says, "Our past, sorry, we made a mistake." Now that statement alone tells you the illogical thought process of Unity Partisan. You voted for Joseph Boakai and you are saying to Joseph Boakai you made a mistake.
No,
did you make a mistake to vote for Joseph Boakai in the past? Yeah, they never voted for George Weah. Unity Partisan never voted for George Weah. So if they say to Joseph Boakai, our pastor who made a mistake, what are they really saying? because they voted for Joseph Boakai. They didn't vote for George Weah. But it showed the deep deception of Unity Party, the deep deception, deep dishonesty, that they will bold-faced tell falsehood and lies and believe it to be truth. Look, George Weah is going to win on the first ballot. The CDC did, I can say this because we are in the elections now. Our strategy, we applied science to our campaign program. While the Unity Party was depending on his deceptive rally, we engaged the people at the community level. And we targeted about 2 million voters across the country. Yes, we fell short of our targets because we were only able to engage with 1.7 million voters physically, which is input in our database. And of this number, about 90% pledged to vote for George Weah across Liberia. From that number, we are convinced, based on the signs, that George Weah is going to win on the first ballot. While the CDC was working in the various community all across the country, the Unity Party people were just planning to end the country. They were planning to deceive the country. They were planning to bring the country down. George Weah, look, let me just state 2 examples of why George Weah is going to win elections.
You have less time.
Yes, less time. Okay, well, number 1, master degree holder who were teaching at public university during Unity Party were making $700 during the regime of Joseph Boakai. Under George Weah, they are making $2,000. The Liberian students, and this is a fact, you can check out, Liberian students were in high school were failing every year under Unity Party. Under George Weah, they have been passing every year.
So those are the factors that will make Joe to win the first round.
These are some of the factors. I could name a whole host of factors. These are just some of the factors.
Okay, Blodgett, thank you very much. Ms. Goa, what are your thoughts? October 10th is coming. Who emerges victorious? Will Joe Weah be re-elected again? Will Joseph Boakai be the new president? Will Cummins be the next president of Liberia? Will Councillor Gonglo be the next president of Liberia? Who do you think will emerge victorious and why? Or Dr. Moniba?
Okay.
And why?
So I think Dr. Moniba is the 26th president of the Republic of Liberia. And it will shock a lot of people this time because Liberians now, they are not getting in the street like before and trying to run around. As you see them, they're from place to place. Every political party has brought up a lot of people. Dr. Moniba just had a closing, they play with pack. United Party go, they play a pack. The other party go here, a pack. Because the people want to see who telling them the real truth and why the reason why they should vote for them. Mr. Cummins, at this point, he has no governmental experience. This man have no experience in government. He left Coca-Cola, yes, but because of diversity, the people needed a black man to be the face of the company at that time. So they put him there. It happens a lot in America here. Mr. Boakai is an elderly man. Their papa, he can't even remember. Look at what happened in Foya. They think they were in the chat room. They were asking the papa just that, he didn't even know what to say at that point in time. Weah is corrupt. He already been stealing all the money he's supposed to steal. He settled. He need to give it up. That the Moniba told him before to remove himself from this campaign. So Moniba is the real change to the new direction to a new Liberia. Liberian people need to understand that. Dr. Moniba was at the first debate. All the other political parties, then they never went because they felt they were too big. Oh, we're not going there. We ain't going there. We're not going there. But are you running for Weah or are you running for the Republic of Liberia? Are you running for Liberian people to hear you? Dr. Moniba was at that debate. He told the people his visions and his plans for Liberia. The second debate, he was in, he went to Kidman. So he did not attend the second debate because it was not really organized. They never had real time to give him.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Goa. So
that's the reason why I know that Dr. Moniba is going to be president of Liberia. He's the
Thank you, Ms. Goa. Thank you, Ms. Goa.
Joe, Liberia.
Thank you, Ms. Goa. Your time is so. Joel, let me hear from you. Who, in your thoughts, will be the next president?
I thought when she speak, I'm next.
No, I call Joel. Joel Dennis.
Oh, okay.
I decide who speaks. So, Joel, what are your thoughts?
Thank you.
And why do you think that person will emerge victorious?
I honestly, I'm not that hopeful that we will know who won. on October 10th. I think this is headed to the Supreme Court. And I'm being realistic. I think, you know, the courts.
So your point is the results, the winner of the election still remain unpredictable.
I think no. It's based on the people that I'm talking to in Liberia and my own impulse. And I apologize to anybody who take me the wrong way, but it seems like it's a two-way horse race right now between the Unity Party and CDC. But I don't believe on election day. I believe that we are headed towards chaos.
Why are you pessimistic and not optimistic that we'll have a peaceful election as a country? What is driving?
Because Unity parties are planning to disrupt the country, to end the country.
No, Bloje, I haven't recognized you, sir.
I think let me try to explain what I see. I see CDC is a desperate party right now. Okay, so you have people who are in power today who have accumulated a lot of wealth. And that wealth could potentially disappear overnight on the day they lose the election. I mean, that is a very scary process for people who were nothing 6 years ago, have built houses all over Liberia. And for that, once that wealth is taken away, that person's power is taken away, those type of people become very dangerous. So, I mean, they have a lot of reason to want to stay in power. If I was in that position, to lose that type of power would be suicidal. So I would do everything in my power to stay in power.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Joel, for your point. Mr. Boda.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Look, I'll tell you this. Liberian currently political institution in Liberia does not have a strong political base to say, hey, I believe in the ideologies. They are swing voters.
Mr. Boda, who will emerge victorious in the coming elections? I want your thoughts to center.
Well, currently, Mr. Walker is spending that. And the reason I say this is that the CDC government will comprise of a lot of young generation. The younger generation in Liberia supported George Weah's presidency to get to where he is today during the early era. And that generation have been filled during his regime. So those very generation today will pay by George Weah to tell him that you need us, we don't need you anymore. So that generation now speaking towards both of them going to Buckeye, and that which shifting the election away from the CDC government. CDC government currently has people who are accumulated money, like my brother have already said, that money they're trying to influence people that they have not done anything for over the last 5 years, that the forgetting generation that they came to fight for. So that is the reason why CDC is going to lose this elections.
Okay, Mr. Boda.
So let us be clear about that. We got to swing voters.
I can go to
one term election.
No, it's okay. Your time is over, Mr. Boda. I can go to Reverend Ade because he's another Unity Party member. So let me come to Sheriff if I go to Reverend Ade. Reverend Ade.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're clearly in the room, man.
Clearly, I would, you all already know who's going to win the election. I mean, just playing maybe the deaf ear or the blind eye games. Mr. Kumis is clearly the next president for Liberia. I mean, the writings are on the wall. It's there, clear. This is the only man that protecting every citizen in the country. He loves everybody. His rallies has been peaceful. He's the only man that been answering to questions, answering to the Liberian people, holding press conferences everywhere, very vigilant. You can clearly see him all in the streets, in the communities, everywhere. The only opposition candidate that since 2017 election, that have taken a tour all around the 15 counties. All right. So right now, I'm telling you for sure, except you're not saying it, but the CPP will emerge the victoria in this election because we clearly mean what we want. And somebody spoke about the debate. Mr. Kumis has been on the debate from day one. He's been telling the people, the Liberian people, his vision. You know, accountability. You know, when it comes to
which of the debate was he on, Sherry, in recent time? Because just this week, all the major radio stations reported that Cummins, boycott, and we are all boycotted the debate. So which debate are you talking about, Cummins?
Well, when I say he's been debating, meaning he's been answering the question, holding press conferences. Yeah, okay. That's what I mean. Those are debates. I mean, the sole purpose of the debate is to sell your platforms, right? And be able to tell the Liberian people what you can do, you know, better than the other candidates.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sherry.
Also, you know, he always been coming out with that. So clearly, right now, as it stands,
nobody Mr. Abu, your time is up.
Trust me.
Thank you, Mr. Abu. Thank you, Mr. Abu.
So,
Reverend Ade,
your next plan.
Reverend Ade, it's all yours.
Well, thank you very much. So thank you very much. I clearly think unequivocally, indisputably, that Joseph Imam Boyka is the next president of Liberia, and this is why. When George Weah ran as a celebrity in the first round of the last elections, he got 38%. Joseph Boyka got 28%. In the second round, it took a coalition for him to win 61%. Joseph Boyka won 38%. That coalition consisted of the NPP, Alex Tyler Party, and Prince Johnson. In every election,
Listen,
guys. Listen. Let's respect.
Abu. I
just wanted to provide information. Go ahead.
No, Abu.
No. Don't provide it right now, Abu. They want to come here and do that
Go ahead.
So clearly, let's do the math. Okay. So now that Mr. President Weah, for that matter, has become a very serious failure in this economy. He has a record. And it's clear that because of that record, men like Alex Tyler, Prince Johnson, MDR Party, NPP led by James Bani, the Liberty Party political stalwart, Darius Dillon, Yombli Kanga, those assets have now gravitated to the Honorable Joseph Imam Boyka. So I couldn't agree with Mr. Choppy Charlie even more, that yes, they will win on one ballot, but the only path to that victory is to cheat. And that is why we know the facts aren't on the side, as evidenced by the fact that our President George Weah was booed in his own town called Sasstown when the people shouted, "We want rescue." So make no mistake, the fire is blazing in the direction of the Honorable Joseph Imam Boyka, who's supposed to be the next president of Liberia, as evidenced by the statistics. So it is indeed a two-man race, but certainly a one-round for Unity Party. Thank you.
Can we are the brown man?
We shall see how long Tuesday is here.
Okay. I will say, like, I know I listen to all these people, my fellow panelists, about their prediction, but the blue man. My prediction is the blue man. Here is why the blue man going to win. Both CDC and the Unity Party, they are being government, and they all fail. Gonglo will win because he's going to really rebuild the trust that is broken between government and the people, and build a trust among the Liberian people. Under Gonglo, this is why you're going to win. All children from ABC to 12th grade, they will go to government school free. All pregnant women under Gonglo will go to government hospital free. That also means all people above 65 years old will go to hospital free under government hospitals. Under Gonglo, also, there will be a mechanized farming. That is to say, we're going to gather rice production factories in Liberia that will produce food. That also means that our roads will be clean. There will be equipment in all the 15 counties. Under Gonglo as well, Liberians would not have feared as to whether about your position in government. That is, everybody will be treated under the law. Rule 1, the Liberian police and all government agencies will have the power to arrest anybody regardless of your position, even including judges. In Liberia today, you can't win the case. If you were to call policemen, they say you should pay their way. Under Gonglo, that is going to stop. Gonglo will bring real change in Liberia. The problem we have in Liberia is the structure of governance. The governance structure is not who is occupying the structure. But we need somebody that will change the current structure that allow people in power to use government resources to do whatever they want. We can go this place and donate. People ain't going to, that is the Liberian people money. We need a system that will make sure that somebody who's a representative will not say you're going to the place to pay a role. It's not their role. We want to make sure on that ground that all the 3 branches of government function as outlined in the Constitution of Liberia. That is why all the silent voters who are listening to me are going to vote for Gongo to be the next president of Liberia.
Okay, thank you, Jawa Kenwea. So,
you gave you a long time to talk, though.
Yeah, Bloje, is there any reason why you think CPP comments will not win or UP Waka will not win as their partisans claim that it will win? Is there any reason why you think you have?
So I think we can begin that. You know, there's an interesting video about Joseph Boakai. I think it's important for us to see. I don't know whether
is there any reason why you think comments? I want to go straight to the question.
Yeah. But I want to answer that question. I want to answer that question on the backdrop. I want to answer that question on the backdrop of video evidence. Why, you know, so that people can see, so the audience can see that. I mean, the video should be here, but interview.
So thank you for coming. Mr. Western Bureau, the press.
Make you forget. That's a B.
Welcome, Mr. Former Vice President.
Thank you. I'm not even supposed to. Yeah. More or less just a short statement about a statement about peace. A statement of peace and actually because we put
So, Ambassador Boakai will speak shortly to the local citizens.
Okay. Gentlemen, I don't have a written statement, but you all are aware that we've been having a very, very, very tedious campaign going around the country. We cover many parts of Liberia, the western area, northern.
Yeah, so
need a sweat. Sweat don't know AC.
So no, Abu, Mr. Abu. Bloje, go ahead.
Yeah, the video is clear that Boakai. The video is very evident that Boakai is not conscious of himself. You can see a mental a challenge right there that Boakai didn't even know where he was sitting, whether he should have spoken, and somebody got a comment.
I think he expected a question from
somebody has to come and talk. Wherever he expected, somebody has to come and ask him and talk to him. You saw the aide there talking to him, my friend Robert Pade of the Unity Party, talking to Boakai there, telling him what to say, where he was. He had a press conference. So it tells you the danger why these guys are so desperate to make this old man the president, because they want to use him and abuse him to fleece the state coffers. The Unity Party who were in government from early time, the 12 years, they realized that all the power, they don't have free gas. Most of the houses don't have electricity again because they're not having free gas. They put gas in the generator. Most of them have free scratch car. Most of their vehicles are down. They are missing all the freebies they were getting from government, and so they are so desperate to come back to power.
Okay, thank you, bro.
That's why
Thank you, Bloje. So let me go to Bishop. Not
David.
Bishop Yeager. Let me go to
David. I got a question.
David.
I think you. I have not. Get a question.
David.
No, I'll come to you.
No, David.
Don't worry.
That is not fair because if you
already recognize
we want to share.
I'll come to you.
We want to share Joe. We are on a video.
Thank you.
So you gotta share Joe. We are on a video. Because
which one?
Competent,
but show it now.
I know you're going to share that video tonight. Listen,
people that brought your video,
if this man can guarantee tonight, Joseph Boakai and Joe can sit down. Let a draw test. If you don't find cross, in that man's stupid brain. He
Oh,
is
no,
very
don't do
incompetent.
that.
I'm telling you.
Don't do that, Bishop.
Bishop. Okay, okay, Ms. Gua. Ms. Gua, why do you think Joseph Boakai wouldn't win? What do you think Councilor Gongola wouldn't win? What others wouldn't win and the Cummings would win?
What I think is that Dr. Moniba will win this election. The reason is,
Moniba.
Yeah, Dr. Moniba will win this election. Dr. Clarence Kpeye Moniba of the Liberian Union, the Liberian National Union,
Liberian National
is
Union.
number 13. He is going to win this election, and this is the reason why. Dr. Moniba is.
No, I'm asking.
I will tell you about him first. I will tell you why the other people will win.
You already told us why he will win. I'm asking you to tell me why you think Boakai wouldn't win.
Boakai will not win because Boakai will not win because Mr. Boakai, number one, 85% of Liberians are youth. So majority of the country is not looking up to somebody like Ome Boakai right now. He's an elderly man. Number one. Number two, Honorable Boakai served in the government. His track record is not very, it's not very, upcoming when it comes to really doing things for the country. He has no good track record on that. That's the reason why the Liberian people won't vote for him. He was fired from the Agriculture Ministry because of corruption. He served government and he was fired twice because of corruption. So and then he served as vice president. He told the people that he was a park car. He couldn't do anything much for the country. Mr. Cummings cannot win this election because Mr. Cummings have no government experience. He will not know what to do. Running a Coca-Cola company does not equivalent you being a president of a whole country. You have to have some.
Thank you, Ms. Goa. Thank you, Ms. Goa. So let me
does not help Liberian people at all. You've been serving in the Justice Ministry or Justice, the judiciary power of Liberia doesn't equivalent you to be president of Liberia. You don't have no international relations. None of these people have that. They don't have it. Dr. Moniba is the only person that have national, domestic, and international experience in government. He worked
so briefly,
as the minister of state.
Ms. Gwale, so
he's
why wouldn't
he's energetic? He has the experience. He tells everything that Liberia needs right now.
We heard all that. So why wouldn't Javier win or be re-elected?
Oh, that one is just obvious. Javier is very corrupt. As soon as he hit the ground running in the first 6 years, 2017, the man started to steal. He built houses. He employed all the people that the very incompetent government. They are very unsophisticated. That's the reason why the justice system don't work.
Okay, thank you,
the people are in the people are not going to vote for that.
Reverend Ade, you got a rebuttal? It's just a walkout.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
What's the rebuttal?
Thank you. So, first of all, that is emphatically untrue. There are two other reports wherein they distinguish his competence among others who are in this race today. So let's be very clear. Youthfulness and inexperience is not a vision. I repeat, youthfulness and inexperience is not a vision. So Dr. Moniba has never really held a ministerial position that went for Senate hearing. He was a minister of state without portfolio. He was not even a line minister. And that is why he managed the PM, the presidential management unit. He only had 4 years experience in government. From being a football player to an actor. Please protect me. Please protect me. So that is why, thank you kindly. So let's be very clear. When you have someone who was, quite frankly, an executive secretary to Madam Sirleaf, running from one ministry to another to secure projects and ensure that they're done. Can I please finish, Madam Goya? I didn't interrupt you. And that is why the Honorable Joseph Imam Boakai has put forth a clear vision based on his experience and expertise in Liberia. In the last 12 years, he was managing the One Health program, in the words of Dr. Talbot Nyenswa. a program that brought over $30 million to Liberia. He was the chair of the Regional Disease Control Program that brought $50 million to Liberia. He headed the Youth Empowerment Program that brought $10 million to Liberia. So not to mention the fact that his competence around agriculture, wherein Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in 2008 in Vonjima received the Serre Medal Award for agriculture through Jacques Diop, the FAO director. So make no mistake, when it comes to experience and legacy, Honorable Joseph Boyka stands out among all of those running. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jawe, there's something said about your candidate, your presidential candidate, Councillor Gonglo. You like to rebut to that? Before I go to Blow J to also rebut to claim that the president is corrupt?
So, well, you see, like, here's one thing I like to say. The international community, including America, you don't have a permanent friend. You have interest. Gonglo visited here in the United States. He visited 15 states, including the State Department and other places. Gonglo is well known internationally. So what I'm pointing out shortly here is that, or for people to understand, is that people should not mislead you to say that you get international contact, because it's a system that you have in place. In Liberia, it's a system. It's not who is in the position, who is willing to implement a system that will benefit the people. And Gonglo is willing to change our system that will attract international community to get all the support we need. Right now, based on the system we have on the ground, if you put it even billion, it will go into people's pockets. So it is not a question of international contact. It's a question of really making sure that the system works. For example, where the work is, when Russia attacked, the international community stood by until the Ukrainians themselves took action before they got the support. So the international community, they don't get special friends, no matter what, but it is what you do. So Gonglo has the ability. He visited America, he visited a lot of people, a lot of agencies, including the State Department, and met a lot of people. So nobody should tell you that. Including where I am, he visited farmers and other corporate, other people that are willing to help Liberia. But we can't say this thing because he is not in power right now. So nobody should mislead you that he has no contact. That is a falsehood.
Visiting somewhere and having negotiations there is two different things. You can visit somewhere.
There's a negotiation. What I'm saying is
negotiating for money to actually benefit a person. Never do that. You don't have that.
No,
okay, so
can I come in?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms.
Including the mayor of there's a lot of mayors here, in the state capital as well, in California.
The president, Mr. Weah, has employed incompetent people, including himself, have built homes overnight. They were broke before, now they are rich.
Let me show you who is incompetent. Let me show you who is incompetent, and I like for us to play another video. You know, one of the things on this program, we're always given a chance during the panel discussion to cue in things that want to be flash. So let me show you who is really incompetent, and I ask the man in the backstage, if you listen to me, to please play the other video about Joseph Boyka, share incompetent on display here. Yeah, and then we're gonna have a conversation about that. So is a backstage man, or the backstage moderator man, man who's the cue in the video, is he listening? So that we can see Joseph Boyka again on display. We just saw, saw another incompetent of him, unable to know where he was at the press conference, and want to show similar kind of video to show what's happening.
It's insulting President Weah. It's insulting What do you stand? Because I know your men have integrity. You and other people. Be very brief, just say listen. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the face of the company. It's insulting President Weah. It's insulting What do you stand? Because I know your men have integrity. You and other people. Be very brief, just say listen.
Yeah, by the way, I didn't want you to go with a towel.
it seems like the video is having a problem, but you could hear in the background, the full video, you could hear in the background, George Lobo coaching Joseph Baga. The video maybe have a technical problem, but George Lobo was there again. Seems like we saw the previous video, talking to Joseph Baga,
I was at that
telling him what to
press
say.
conference. That is not true. I was
It's a
there
pattern.
at that town
Don't
hall.
do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I was there. Don't do
There's
that.
a pattern of Joseph Baga. We see repeatedly. Look, are they disrupting here? Disrupting here.
I'm sorry,
We heard it clear. You were telling Joseph Baga what to do.
Yeah, the video, the full video. I don't worry, we'll put the full video up. We're gonna have the time here, but you heard George Lobo. There's a connect pattern. Joseph Baga is incompetent. He doesn't have the capability to govern. He's being programmed by people because they want to loot the state. They want to destroy this country. They want to rile on this man. It is a danger that we have to stop. It is a real threat to Liberia that all of people are trying to use an old man who to be living comfortably in a retirement home with his grandchildren. They want to force him into the presidency as a shock off for them to get back the free gas slip, the free scratch card, the free government vehicle, the free housing rent, the free padam. These are the reasons why the partisans who are supported Baga are so desperate. We saw at the rally former officials walking in the ring. They were former officials. They were walking in the ring because they are desperate to come back to power to loot the state. That is the question here.
Let's go to Mr. Boda. Then after Mr. Boda, we'll take a short break and we'll come back with.
So I want to talk again.
I just have one question for Mr.
Boda. Mr. Boda.
Yes, sir.
Any rebuttal, Mr. Boda?
What is your question?
Which candidates which of the candidates do you support?
You asked me which of the candidates support?
Do you support Mr. Boda? Because people have commented on all the candidates why they will win, why they wouldn't win.
I think I stated that earlier. I told you why Mr. Baga is going to win the elections. It's just plain simple.
Okay. The fact that you've spoken, thank you very much, and let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll go to our icebreaker.
I wanted to close, man, because you're not being fair. Let me close real quick before
we'll come back to you. Okay? We'll come back after the short break.
Hi, my name is Martha Tomle, owner of Matisia Natural Hair Salon, located on 4405 Chestnut Street. We are specializing in locks, natural hair, braids, and etc. Call us for all your natural hair needs. You can reach out at 267-703-2330. If you have pictures or videos you want to send us, you can send it to 267-224-0693.
Maintaining your vehicle can be a major investment. That's why here at Brothers Auto Care, we pride ourselves on providing professional and reliable auto care at affordable rates. Whether you need an inspection, new brakes, or diagnostic reports, our skillful and experienced mechanics are here for you every step of the way. Call Brothers Auto Care now to schedule your next auto maintenance and repair service. At Brothers Auto Care, we help you drive home with peace of mind.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to our icebreaker immediately. This is a general question. What is your favorite sport? SPOT, what is your favorite sport? It's a general question. Let me start with Joel Dennis.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
What is your favorite sport? SPOT, sport. Football, basketball, Scrabble,
SPORT.
chess. SPOT, sport.
I'll let play ball.
SPORT, sport. What? Am I misspelling SPORT, sport?
Yeah, sport.
SPORT, what I mean, SPORT, sport, not sport.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I like American football, professional football. You know.
American football.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you love it?
I like the violence in the game.
They should have left hockey. They should have left hockey. Hockey got more violent.
Miss Goa.
I love basketball.
Basketball. Why do you love basketball? You play basketball. Why do you love it?
I tried to play when I was in BWR school, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't make the team because I guess I didn't know how. But I love basketball because they make a lot of money. I mean, you play well, you become billionaire and possibly a billionaire like LeBron James. So, yeah, it pays.
Thank you, Miss Gua. Mr. Boda, what's your favorite sport? S-P-O-R-T, not S-P-O-T.
Sport. Spot. Your favorite spot.
Mr. Boda.
Soccer. I love soccer.
Soccer. Why do you love soccer and which team do you support?
Man, you know.
So why do you love
Manchester
soccer?
United.
Why do you
Oh,
love
my son
soccer?
played soccer when I was growing up. So I love soccer. I like the game.
Jawi Kenwea, what is your favorite sport?
Right now, I think I watch tennis than any other sports right now. When tennis is on, I really watch tennis because tennis is a game. Actually, it's one man talent, one person talent, and I really enjoy that. Like so I enjoy that really. It's very good. It's really. I wish we had that in Liberia so that it really exposes the young talent in the people. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jawi. Reverend Adi, what's your favorite sport?
I love football. The one we play, I love foot. Man, the soccer in America, football in Liberia. And my favorite team is Mighty Barrow, in which my father was the first president.
Wow. Okay.
Mighty Barrow.
Okay. So why you love?
In that way, we are on the same
because
team.
your father was the president.
Yes, the first president of Mighty Barrow, Judson Benny Addy.
You ever played sports before?
Thank you very much.
I'm very good at football, marble, and
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a soccer fan.
Yeah. I like.
Well, one will call it.
No, I haven't come to you. I haven't come to you.
Oh, I thought you're talking to me.
I'm asking Mr. Sherry Abu.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a soccer fan. Precisely Chelsea from England. Yes, I did play football in high school, and then later on changed it to politics, and since then, yeah.
Politics isn't sport. Okay, thank you, Abu. Thank you, Abu. So, Blood your champion, Charlie. What's your favorite sport?
Yeah, obviously, my favorite sport is football. We call it football. Americans call it soccer mostly. But the reason is football is a game of mathematics. It's a game that allows you to think. Precision, your passes have to be, you want to get the ball to the next man, but precision is about anticipation. You want to understand what the next person is going to do, what the next person is going to do with the ball. It's about finding opportunities and converting the opportunity into goals. And just as the game is played, two-team war game is the same way the CDC, George Weah is going to play this political game when they win on the first ballot.
Which soccer team do you support?
I don't have a favorite team. I always support the best team that play. In Liberia, my favorite team was Mighty Barrow.
Okay, gentlemen. And they thank you very much.
Can I close now?
What's your? No, you can't close. I want each person to comment on the comment from Joel Dennis that he foresees violence in independent elections. Do you believe him, Madam Goa? Do you believe, Sherry?
Let me go first because I got to work in the morning.
Joel Dennis.
Okay, let Abu go.
Yeah,
Abu has violence. So let Abu go. Let Abu go first.
Okay, Abu go. Okay, Abu. They didn't say you should go.
Yeah.
Abu, do you foresee violence?
To go away.
Do you see violence? Do you foresee violence on October 10, as predicted by Joel Dennis?
We have seen recipe for violence, but again, we are calling on every Liberians to exercise peace, because again, like I said,
But do you no wait, Abu, do you believe in Mr. Dennis that there will be violence?
So this is
Do
where
you
I'm
agree
coming
with him?
from. No, but this is where I'm coming from. Again, like I said, I've seen recipe for violence on election day. I've seen that from my opposition black, from the other people, opposition black, and of course the UP, I mean the CDC as well. But again, what I can say in this case is to call on every Liberian that Liberia is first. Despite all of our differences, our political leaders, our parties, and all of that, listen, we cannot put Liberia on the line because of somebody. Remember, your life is worth than the person you are supporting. You got family, you got children, you got brothers, you got sisters. And again, our society is so gullible that even if the war, I mean, God forbid, if the riot started with tissue, it will end with dishes. We still have the peace, and we know that thing has been around. We got people still sitting there. We cannot afford, because this time around we do not have ECOMOS, we do not have OMEOs, we do not have the Nigerians in there, peacekeepers, to help us. So let us be very cautious and not listen to all the politicians that are flaming violence rhetoric coming around from everywhere.
Thank you very much.
Let's listen to Mr. Monuba. Let's listen to Cummings, and let's be safe.
Thank you, Mr. Abu. Thank you, Mr. Abu.
Thank you, Mr.
Abu. Thank you, Mr. Abu. Ms. Gua, do you agree with Mr.
I was
Dennis,
trying to send you
Dennis?
I'm trying to send you a video from some. I'm trying to send you a video, but before I send you, I will send you the video later on. You can play if you want. But even the international community are sensing violence in these elections. But I would say, I'm sending it to you right now, so maybe you can play it. I would just say to the Liberian people that we don't want to continue time. Liberia, the peace is very fragile, and that's the truth. The people have been seduced because they are afraid for their lives, because the government is not really taking, justice seriously in the country. But at the same time, don't let that stop you from going to the polls. Do not let these people take away your rights to vote. You have the right to vote for the person you think that can lead Liberia right. And so go to the polls and vote, because in any situation, you have to protect your children's future. So if it costs you to go there and they attack you and you still there and protect yourself, you have to do that. But don't let them seduce you and stay at home because you fear for your life.
So Ms. Gua, in a nutshell, you agree with Dennis that there will be some.
It is part of the closing statement too.
Yes, I agree with him that because of everything that happening around us.
Thank you very much. You agree with him. Let's go to Mr. Boda.
Can you people please play that video I just sent?
No, let me come to Reverend Ade. Reverend Ade, do you agree with Mr. Dennis that there's a likelihood of the eruption of violence?
Likelihood, yes.
Reverend Ade, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? I said
yes.
Yes. Joel Dennis said he foresees violence. Is there really a likelihood of violence on the election day? You believe in?
Well, likelihood has to do with possibility. Absolutely. It's possible, but we are praying against it and hoping that these elections will be conducted in a free, fair, and transparent manner.
Thank you very much. Jawi, can we have?
I will say I don't believe it, because many people, I get relatives that call me to buy food because they're afraid of war. So the first question I ask all Liberians that talk about war, asking them whether it is Nigerian that are attacking Liberia, Freedom, which are the country that is going to attack Liberia. In other words, what I'm saying is that country is for all Liberians. No other country that is going to attack Liberia, so there will be no war, because Liberians, we have already had the experience of war. So there will be rhetoric, but I don't think Liberian people are prepared for, so I don't really believe it that there will be a war.
Thank you very much.
It's not saying war, it said violence.
Okay, violence. Okay,
I'm
talking about violence.
So I said violence, the war. Okay. Mr. Boda, please, do you believe Mr. Dennis?
Mr. Boda, you don't hear
Do you
me?
believe Mr. Dennis, Mr. Boda, are you hearing me? Do you believe Mr. Dennis that
Yeah, I can hear you.
likelihood of violence on election
I
day?
think the LeBron will be peaceful. I think
Okay.
the temperature is high right now because we are in the campaign period, and you expect that sometime when you see two rivals meeting, these things happen. It was unfortunate that we had Debbie involved, but I think the election will be peaceful.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bloje.
Yeah, despite the violent rhetoric from the Unity Party, their leader, and other top surrogates, we want to trust the wisdom of ordinary Liberians, having experienced a terrible, devastating war in this country. We believe that our people will not tolerate such a thing to occur in Liberia. We have asked our partisans, and we've continued to talk to our partisans to remain peaceful. And we're asking all Liberians to remain peaceful and take your anger to the ballot box. All of our partisans will be taking their anger to the ballot box on October 10th. There will be no second round because they're going to vote George Weah for re-election on October 10th. That is where our own anger will be. That is where we will express our disagreement with the violent actors in Liberia. And so we want to trust the Liberian people that this election will be peaceful despite the violent rhetoric from those who are desperately seeking power but does not have the capability to win. You know, on the football
Thank you
field,
very
the
much,
PC
Bloje.
player always try to disturb the game.
Are we closing
Thank you very
now?
much, Bloje. So let me get each person 30 seconds to say something to the Liberian people. Even if you can speak your dollar, you can speak it. Jua Dennis, can you speak to the Liberian people? 30 seconds. This is your closing statement, your closing comments. I give each person 30 seconds. Say something to the Liberian people.
Not even 1
about
minute, sir?
violence, about 30 seconds. 30 seconds, sir. 30 seconds each person.
I think, we are at a turning point in Liberia. I think God really hates Liberia because he's always giving us very bad choices to pick from. So I hope going forward, the younger generation will play a much larger role in the politics of this country and try to change its trajectory. I hope there was no violence, but I know this political season is purely emotional. There is not enough intellect. Yeah, it's purely raw, visceral emotions. It's all about people's feelings. So I hope.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis. Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis. Javin Kenwia, 30 seconds. What
Okay,
would you like to say to the Liberian people?
30 seconds. Okay, my fellow Liberians, here is what I can say. Liberia is the only identity that binds all of us, whether you are in America, Europe, Liberia. That is our only identity. It's the only house we have in common. But we got two major problems in Liberia that has this problem has been killing us, taking the future of our children, everything, and that is corruption and selective justice. In order to stop corruption,
let's talk about. John, I want you to say something like about violence.
I'm coming now.
Deter violence.
I'm coming now. In order to stop corruption, because there's corruption and selective justice that bringing the violence in Liberia. So you need a head, and to stop these things from happening in Liberia, we should remain peaceful, but at the same time, we should elect Tiawanse Gonglo so that we can get real justice and fight real corruption in Liberia.
All much.
Liberia is all about we should not fight.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gua.
My fellow Liberians, we from the New Liberia movement, we do not condone violence. So we're reaching out to you to let you know that we will not condone the violence in these elections. We ask you to go to the polls and be the best of yourself. Go there and vote Dr. Moniba in. He is the only candidate who represents the future, his physical appearance, his energy, his message, his inspirations, his education, and his experience. So you see yourself in him, and he sees himself in you. We need a new direction to a new Liberia. Voting Dr. Moniba, number 13. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Reverend Ade?
My fellow Liberians, I want to encourage you to vote number 2 for Joseph Boyka. Use your passion to spend time in line and do it peacefully as you did on September 17 in the poo-poo water, in the torrential rain. Stay there no matter how long they make the lines, and vote, because you are voting for your future, you are voting for security, you are voting for economic development. And I want to ask them, our producer, to please play my video with the people telling George Weah, in your own hometown, we want rescue. Joseph Boyka.
I don't think that's a measure of peace now. There's a different subject matter that requires to respond.
Are you been playing on a video all night?
No, it says measure of peace to close. You can't bring different subject.
30 seconds, this will provoke a reaction from CDC. That's what Roger is saying.
We just arrived 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. in the morning, and Josh, we are just arrived in Sastan.
Prince, they play the time when they say we want rescue, man.
Just they've been traveling for hours.
Reverend Ade, 30 seconds finish.
This is
Reverend Ade, your 30 seconds finish. Show the video. Reverend Ade, you've gone above 30 seconds.
Definitely to come up here and speak up.
I'm done.
Come right up here and speak up. Come right up here and speak to them.
I think go to 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes now.
My man, I'm done with that. The producer, I'm just encouraging my grand people to vote.
The producer not saying
Princess, okay, we have seen the Liberian people want rescue. Princess, okay, you can take it down. They want rescue even in Sasstown, where the president is from. They want rescue in the southeast, and they will do that peacefully.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, it's not a fight. It's not a fault of Reverend Ade. You forgive him for that. Okay, so Mr. Boda.
Yeah.
Have you given your final comments? 30 seconds.
Well, I just want to urge the Liberian people, the campaign will be over by the 7th. And we'll urge that you go to the pool and exercise your right to vote. And respect each other. And let's have respect for one another. Be safer. And vote rescue one.
Thank you very much. Lord James Chaplain Charlie.
Yeah, the characterization of the video right now again exposes the deep dishonesty of Unity Party. Rescue is the name of Finabono, who is his chief of protocol to the president. So the people went to the president hall, they said, we want to see rescue. We want to see. That means somebody in the hall they wanted to see. That person was Finabono. That is how she's called. They went to see. That is how they call her rescue. Finabono is known as rescue. Because the Unity Party stole that name, rescue mother, does not mean that they went to see Finabono and they went to George Weah house where she is. She's the chief of protocol librarian. They said, we want to see rescue. That is how she is called. Maybe it's strange to you. It's strange to you, but that's it. So was Baka in that house to say, we want to see rescue? Was Baka in that house? My brother asking to see.
Why people want to see Georgia?
They said we want rescue.
Why want to see Georgia? That issue, I'm not with you. They say we want to see rescue because of a relationship with them.
Who is Finabono in the country that they want to see her?
Well, you can get mad at it. You don't think she's anybody. That's your worry. That's your frustration. That is your frustration. That is your frustration. You can worry about that. She's somebody very important. She's the chief of protocol of Liberia. She has been one of the good person in the country. The people believe in her, they trust her. You can worry about her. You can be frustrated about that. If you think she doesn't have, that's your frustration. It's not on her. The people believe in her. They love her interaction. And let me just end on a note of peace.
No, Blood, your time is over. Okay.
No, my time over. I'm responding to the. I mean, took a lot of time responding to that stuff. I have to give a message of peace to Liberians. We want to encourage all Liberians. For any political persuasion, this country, the only way the country can continue to make progress is for us to remain peaceful. George Weah has been an ambassador of peace. He disarmed people when war came in this country. We don't want violence. We cannot entertain violence. Our children are going to school. They are making progress. They are passing wise now. On the Unity Party, they were failing wise. We want peace so our children can continue to pass wise. New roads are being built by George Weah. We want the roads continue to be built. Hospital has been built by George Weah. It did not happen in the Unity Party. Let's maintain the peace and keep growing the nation.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Blojit. And thank you, gentlemen. I think we had a good time. Thank you. We hope to see you in the next edition, if you will.
After elections.
So,
thank you, Mr. Moderator.
We'll see each other after the elections on October 10th. And please come,
Thank you so much.
if you lose. Please come on the show next week, even if you lose.
Sure.
Reverend Adam, Blojit.
We keep pressure pill for our men.
So please come next Thursday, even if you lose the elections.
We'll keep pressure pill for our men. All right, man. Have a good one. Have a good one. No, we got a lot of pressure pill. We got a lot of pressure pill for our men.
Let me read the announcement.
That photo roll, I'm going to continue playing with it. When we be out there,
we share free pill for y'all.
We have an announcement here. Gentlemen, I think we have an announcement here I'd like to read. It's a flu clinic event. Free flu vaccine walk-in welcome. The telephone number is 215-729-8225. Protect yourself and your loved ones. Wednesday, October 11, 2023, time 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Friday, October 13, 2023, time 12 p.m. 3 p.m. Where African Cultural Alliance of North America, 5530 Chester Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19143, City of Philadelphia. Thank you. Thank you, viewers. We hope you had a very good time. We all share the video with your families and friends. My name is David Tagwe. I was here along with the host, Derek Yali. We hope to be back next Thursday. Thanks to our technicians who helped to make this program a success. Thank you and good night.
On the track, baby, so I can get this clear. Everyone bring that speak on. Some people can lie. Some people get traffic. Some people can cheat. They don't practice what they preach. But I'm all we know. They are happy that she think. You see me feel you in me. I'm all we know.